Messing with photo mode. Okay.
Now we gotta wait for the people to file in.
Well, in the future, selfies have evolved into a new higher life form that are in every game. Because Kingdom Hearts apparently has a mode like this now.
Selfie mode.
Yes. But, hey everybody, how you doing tonight? We're back with Spider-Mans.
Welcome back, Space Cadets, to Hal and Dave's Trip to Jupiter.
And this week, we will solve crime. As per usual.
Alright, we already got Suspicious Pie and Mike Hunter in the chat. Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Happy you guys are joining us. Now, let's see. What stickers do I got?
You have stickers?
Yes, I do. Look. Adorable little spider stickers.
Spectacular spider stickers?
Yes.
Oh, it's the chibi from, like, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh, I got more than that.
Spider-Man loves New York.
Yes. But I can also do more than that.
Mike Hunter wants to know how you take pics.
Okay, so here's... I'll actually show you how you do it. So the first thing you do is... Okay. First you press option mode, and you'll see this little photo mode right here.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
And then you go into it. Now, you got a couple different camera types. This is the free camera type. You can move around and do interesting photos and angles, I guess. But only around you. You can't go through the entire city and see what's up. So you can see. Let's take a look at this. Spider-Man's looking kind of sad here, so we'll go with this one. Let's mess with this and see what we can make with this one.
It's the forlorn spider.
So we also have options for filter types. And so this kind of gives me a noirish Spider-Man feel. So let's now choose the frame. So you can choose how you want your frames to be. And I'm gonna go. Ooh, that one's nice. I like that one a lot. Gives it kind of like a nice movie cinematic vibe here. And as you can see, you get a lot of like options for it. Now you get
Spider-Man in black and white.
Yeah, basically. And if you press square, you also get access to sticker mode. And you can put any stickers. Here's a J. Jonah Jameson face. That looks like a Dean Hampsey drawing, or at least looks to me. And you get these options.
You know, for a second, I thought it was just the Hulk that they forgot to color green.
Fair enough. Hey, listen to our stream.
Hey, listen.
Boom.
Can you imagine if Spider-Man had his own Navi?
I could easily... Yeah, we call it Aunt May and her dying.
I was going to say that we have Yuri, but she doesn't bother Spider-Man half as much.
A question mark in the rain. And that's our picture for Spider.
We have a photo.
Yep.
We have a composition.
And now we can share this online if we want to.
We didn't promise that it would be a good composition.
I didn't call it a good composition, but, you know, and we exit. So,
Alright.
So people, whoever comments first gets to choose the costume. And here are your options for costumes. Advance, Torn, Regular, Noir, Scarlet Spider, Electro, Negative, Homecoming, Secret War, ew, Bulletproof, Spider-Punk, and my girlfriend gave me the Spider costume, please like it.
What?
Well, Black Cat gave it to him.
Oh, right.
Which is kind of, it's meant to be like the game's...
This
is meant to be the game's symbiote costume because they're saving that for a sequel. But whoever comments first in the next bit will choose the costume we have for the game. So, choose wisely! At the very least. So. Alright, what do we got?
Alright. Let's, Hey, Princess Luna, how's it going?
Hey, so whoever picks a costume first gets to pick
Suspicious Pie votes number 5.
Of course. Here, that's number 5.
Scarlet Spider.
We'll be wearing this costume in the next mission then.
I swear I wasn't copying Optimus Prime's color scheme.
Yeah, this costume was made because Scarlet Spider was on a budget at the time. He found a hoodie and just was like...
Superheroing on a budget. I'm sure there's like a Pinterest for that.
I would love to see that Pinterest. And once again, any questions about me trying to solve any weird comic book questions are also welcome. Or just any general nerdy thing if you want to ask me.
Try to stump Dave.
Well, you can try.
Yeah.
But first, I have to solve crime!
2 + 2 = crime.
Oh wait, I don't have access to that power yet. But until then...
Yeah, so apparently Dave went in 100% of this game on his own time.
Yeah.
And so now he's used to having all these amazing powers, and he doesn't.
I can still function. I can still
He's a high-functioning Spider-Man.
Thankfully, I have 2 focus bars, but I'm used to 3.
Okay.
And also... Oh god, Bazooka Dude!
It's Bazooka Joe!
Fucking Bazooka Joe, die!
Oh man, where's Sniper Joe when you need him?
Hey, bomb!
Web bomb.
My favorite type of bomb.
Spider-Man getting his spider splooge all over the place.
Pretty much. There we go. And one more.
Ooh, one more punches hard.
Yeah, but I can...
He's got one of those demon masks on. These are all the demon gang.
Yep. Wait a minute. One dude is still shooting? Oh, you.
Yeah. The dude with the gun who is still shooting.
Hold it. Hold it. I'm gonna do this.
That car is very neatly on fire.
Yep! Hold it, hold it. Before we leave...
We can take a photo of of this guy webbed to a burning car. Wait, can you not rotate the camera farther than that?
That's better.
Alright.
No, you can. It's just I gotta shuffle it up. There we go. This is my new best friend. I call him Barbecue Bob.
We have a hot relationship.
Uh-huh. I hope... Look at him burning to death. He's always such a kidder.
Oh, Bob. You're so funny.
Yeah. We all love Barbecue Bob. Anyway. Now, Bob, I have solved your crime.
But yeah, like, that car is very, like, neatly on fire. It
Yeah.
feels like... I feel like a real car would not burn in that manner.
Oh, fuck yeah, I found it.
What'd you find?
This is one of my favorite locations within the Marvel Universe. That is Doctor Strange's lair.
Oh,
the
you're
Sanctum
right.
Sanctorum.
Yeah, I remember that from the movie.
Excuse me, I'm taking a freaking picture of this.
Okay, so I only know Doctor Strange from the movie, and so I'm very happy that I can recognize that, because it means the movie was faithful.
Yeah. Now, that window is basically in every incarnation of the character. So, it's one of my favorite things, and I always like Doctor Strange, mostly because it's one of my favorite landmarks in the Marvel Universe. The only one they don't have is the Fantastic Four Tower.
Oh.
This was during the movie rights issues. We don't talk about them anymore. And now they're gone. I kind of...
Are they really gone?
Well, now Disney owns them, so...
Oh,
yeah,
that's good.
Hold it. Crime!
All this for little old me?
Oh, dang it. I think I missed them.
I like that they're like speaking in Chinese or something, and they just subtitle them.
And we're done.
Spider kick. Yes. Oh! Aw.
He like dangled for a second. Alright, so... Ooh!
I hate these bazooka guys. They're so lame.
Damn it, Bazooka Joe.
I hate them. You should die, and you dead. Or at least your allies are dead.
Spider-Man doesn't kill people.
Yes, I don't kill people.
Hey, Black Beladenka, welcome.
Yeah? Any? if we... Let's see. Oh, I sense more crime! Oh, it's a pigeon.
It's a criminal pigeon.
I will solve this pigeon!
It's a menace.
It is my responsibility to catch that pigeon. I can't believe I said that.
Peter, I don't know what to tell you.
AJ Shim says, I like it when they speak in another language and give subtitles, unlike games that do not. Looking at you, Resident Evil 4.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
that's right, but all they're saying in Resident Evil 4 is they're just like random gibberish swearing at you in Spanish.
It's fair. I now have 3 pigeons. With these pigeons, I will solve crime.
My anti-crime pigeons helped me defeat the Kingpin.
To be fair, I think there is some superhero who relies on pigeons to help him with crime, but I don't want to remember him right now because he's kind of lame.
Pigeon Man, Pigeon Man. Does whatever a Pigeon Man can.
Alright. If this is what I think it is...
Flies
then,
up high, poops on buildings.
Then we're going to have some interesting talks now. I think this is where we're going to get Miles Morales. And I'm going to talk about him. Yeah,
okay.
there he is!
Here's our friend Miles.
Alright, so Miles Morales, who's unfortunately rather known as the Black Spider-Man for various reasons. No.
He's the Black Spider-Man as opposed to the Black Spider-Man.
Yes.
This is a very specific distinction.
Yeah. But Miles Morales was introduced in Ultimate Spider-Man as a replacement for Peter Parker, who died in the Ultimate Universe. But don't worry, Peter Parker apparently got immortality from the spider bite.
Maybe I'm just a guy.
So he died and did not die.
Yes. Because if there's one thing Brian Michael Bendis can't do is let go of characters. He'll just kill them off for shock value and then just bring them back. But besides that, Miles has had an interesting time trying to be Spider-Man. At first he was just the Spider-Man for the Ultimate Universe.
It's MJ.
Yep.
I think this gang
And then they decided to make him, put him in the main Marvel Universe, and he's been floundering ever since. For various reasons. Miles has a couple flaws that aren't apparent in this game that are in the comics. And if I'm going to be honest, the game version is the best version of Miles so far in any form I've seen.
Alright, so we got Norman Osborn up here.
Yeah, Norman Osborn.
He needs a mirror to talk to.
He either needs a mirror or possibly beating up his son. Really, I just can't imagine. It's Norman. He's special.
Yeah.
Though I do know what's happened to Norman in this game. And I gotta admit, this is not a bad version of Norman overall, I'll say that. I do hope that they...
Man, see, I'm going to be sitting here, like, predicting the ending of this game, and you're going to be like, oh, I know it.
Oh, at this point,
The surprise is gone.
A little bit there. We do get hints about Norman's other form, if you know what I mean, later on. But we're going to see it later. Anyway, that's Miles' father, Jefferson Davis. And like I said... And also, Jefferson plays in why I think this version of Miles is more interesting than any other version. Even though I will admit it is cliche.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
And we're about to see that classic cliche.
My wife Rio, and my son Miles. Without their support, I couldn't do what I do.
Yes?
I've worked many years for this moment.
Who is this?
Who are you, mysterious caller?
Company, your city, and everything you care about.
He's getting a call from the Green Goblin. Oh, no.
Oh man, curses Green Goblin.
It's like he's having a whole conversation over there, but then someone like looks at the phone, and it was just he was just talking to a phone that was off.
Now I'm just imagining Norman just having an entire contact list that has nothing but the different various types of goblins. Hobgoblin, Green Goblin, Red Goblin, Gray Goblin.
Are there that many goblins?
I'm not gonna say. There's some really stupid versions of the goblins, I will admit.
Ooh, is that Mr. Negative?
Yes, Mr. Negative.
Oh my god, he's charging his Kamehameha.
His evil Kamehameha. Alright. And yeah, this is the exact moment. So, everybody, this is going to be fun because we lost control of Peter Parker, and that means only one thing.
Miles! Miles, are you okay?
We are now doing a mandatory stealth section.
Miles, we have to travel for miles. AJ Shim says, what about the heroic goblin? Heroic Green Goblin.
Green Goblin number 4?
What?
Yeah, there's 4 Green Goblins. I probably should have told you. Alright. So let me go.
And here's the turquoise goblin, and here's that green yellowish goblin. And
he's now known as the Goblin Knight, actually. But alright,
you
alright.
made me sneeze with your goblins.
Alright, let me explain the history of the Green Goblin. I'll make this quick and short. So, there's Norman Osborn. He's the first one. He ended up dying. This drove Harry insane, and he ended up becoming the Green Goblin too. Okay. As you do.
Just like the movies.
Then Harry's therapist was like, oh man, this Green Goblin gig is pretty sweet. I want to become the Green Goblin.
The therapist?
Yes!
Okay.
And then some guy found all the Green Goblin tech and was like, what if I became a superhero with this? And that's Green Goblin 4.
The Green Goblin.
Yeah, so now we're in one of these mandatory sections over there where you
quick hide from the police.
Oh god, you bastard!
You said it was a stealth section.
Kind of. We're not really into the stealth part of it yet. We're just kind of in the more traversal aspect about it. It's not too bad, but these are one of those moments of these don't always work. Now, here's the thing. I don't necessarily hate all of them in the game, but there are only 2 that really work in this entire game. And they come near the end of the game. These sections. And they are really pretty fun.
Do the thing.
Do the thing. I can't do this for Miles. Miles, use your shock power that hits everyone in one piece. Okay, yeah, one of the big problems with Miles in the comics is that Miles kind of
He's got the touch.
Alright. Now, it's not shown in this game, but Miles has a broken power within the comics where he literally beat a demon from hell with one touch. He is literally One Touch Man in the comics.
Man, you beat me to it.
One touch! One touch!
Yeah. Okay.
And here's the thing. Miles has a lot of potential to be a good character. And here's the thing. I said it before, there are no bad characters, only bad writers. And I know there are some bad characters out there, but still.
Yeah, you're being quite generous when you say that.
Yes. But Miles...
But that is Dave. He is generous.
But Miles is not a bad character, in my opinion. I just think that he needs work and to fix. But this game fixes one major problem that Miles had in the comics that they didn't really want to try and work on.
Yeah.
Which is, they give him an actual relationship to Peter Parker.
In this game.
Yes, before he becomes Spider-Man. And you want to know what? That fixes a lot of Miles' problems.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mostly because Miles actually has a reason to maybe want to become Spider-Man or look up to him.
Yeah, well, exactly. I was going to say, if he's got a mentor that he looks up to, he would view that.
And now we're in the stealth part of this section.
Oh, yeah, so who are these guys? Negative Men?
Yeah, basically. Negative Man's like, Mr. Negative Goons. Oh, God, no! And Miles saw, like, a guy die in front of him.
Next up on Spider-Man versus Negative Man.
God, I forgot that. That's actually kind of... Ugh.
Ooh. Yeah, that's grim. How do they not see him right there?
I'm working...
Those masks hinder his, hinder their vision horrifically.
It's true.
They make them very intimidating, but they were a really bad idea.
like I said, there are parts about this. One big problem with this game is that there's no real, until later in the game, there's no real way to take out guys yourself. And you just have to constantly avoid them. And to tell you the truth, it's just not really fun for me in this direction for one reason.
Yeah.
Because, well, here's one big problem. You don't have all the cool Spider-Man powers that could make stealthing fun.
Yeah, well, this falls into my discussion of, like, staying inside of the gameplay. So the core gameplay of this game is obviously Spider-Man, so they have taken us away from that. And so, generally that's not a good thing to do. But in the context of this game, I can see why they would do it, since obviously we've got another character here to develop and tease.
Yeah. It sets up enough. But like I said, there are aspects about it I like and aspects I don't like.
Yeah.
For one thing, I'll say this. It's very much like these are also instant lose sections.
Right there. Gotta help him.
So if you...
Oh, wait, so if they spot you, you instantly lose?
Yeah, but if I get here...
You walked up right next to him, and then cutscene happened. Do we have to do the thing?
Miles can't do the thing. He's too weak. He is not strong yet.
Does he have a katana?
Yes.
Yeah!
I don't...
An evil katana. No. That looks more like a Chinese sword.
It is a Chinese sword.
Yeah.
Lee is Chinese.
Not a katana.
They look...
He's got such a nice, like, character model.
Martin Lee, I think, is also because... I think it might be based on...
He's really handsome.
He is. And I'll say this. Another aspect is about what Miles is. They killed his father off, which is cliche as hell, but again...
Oh, I saw that coming out.
Yeah.
Like, his father is a police officer.
In all seriousness, they actually avoided...
Police officers are the easiest ones to kill.
Well, believe it or not, they decided to actually contrast Miles with Peter in the comics by having him have his parents around.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm being honest, this handles it a bit better because Miles has more stakes in general. One of the problems is Miles is kind of freaking bland.
Oh, I agree with what you're saying, like right here,
Yeah.
that this is a better way to do it.
Yeah.
Because now he's got a deep-seated pain that will motivate him in the future.
Yeah, and Peter Parker sees that pain and relates to it.
Yeah, and that gives him something to bond over. And then Peter Parker is going to be a good mentor and guide him in the right direction. So he isn't just searching for revenge, he's searching for justice.
And like I said, I don't hate Miles out of hand. But to me, right now, Miles is probably the most boring of the Spider-Man protagonists that have been around. And there's been a bunch. So, you know, to be fair...
There's lots of Spider-Men.
Well, there's Spider-Man 2099, the Scarlet Spiders, the various Venoms.
Do they meet each other on the World Wide Web?
I wish. Then again, I like it when Spider-Man...
Why are we making jokes at a funeral?
I know. Well, I like it...
Press X to pay respects.
Hey, my favorite joke is in Spider-Man is that if you get the Spider-Man and his clones together, they become the Parker brothers.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Almost spit out my drink.
Yeah. That's what I can do. That's the power I
I
have.
was at City Hall when... Look, I know you don't know me, but I just wanted to say, I know what you're going through.
Yeah. Miles makes a very strong impression in this game, and his character-wise, this is the best version of Miles I've seen him as a character in any incarnation, cartoon movies included so far. Now, he might be better in the new movie, to be fair, Into the Spider-Verse. But if I'm being honest, this so far is the bar I'm setting for Miles at this point.
Yeah. Well, you know, hindsight's always 20/20, so sometimes when they remake a character, they can do it better than the first time.
It's fair. With Miles, the big problem is that they want him to be Spider-Man without having Peter Parker be a huge part of it. And that never worked. For a lot of reasons, it's mostly because Spider-Man is Spider-Man. And Peter Parker cast a fucking huge shadow in the comic industry. Every other superhero...
Ooh, look at this.
Oh my god, look at the costume in the rain. Just beautiful. Nice job, Suspicious Pie.
I'm sorry, Jeff.
up?
Have you started looking for Martin Lee yet?
No, I told you I can't start a manhunt based on a hunch from Spider-Man.
But I'm telling you, he's the guy.
I wonder where the
Get me some
funeral
solid evidence and we'll talk.
plot is.
Solid evidence. Right. Hey.
Oh.
It's me.
Hey, so what are you thinking?
I'm thinking I screwed up.
We're gonna do this side mission.
I know you too well to say you should give yourself a break. What about the police? Do they have any leads on me?
They're not even looking for him. Even Yuri doesn't believe me.
Then it's up to us to find him.
Well, we'll do it after this side
Oh
mission.
man, they don't believe him.
Yeah.
We bought a controlling interest in this recycling center last year.
You think he's hiding out there?
Maybe. We know he's not at Feast.
You'd think in
If
a
he's not at the recycling
instance
center,
like this
maybe
that
you'll find some evidence
the
as to
police
where
might
he
listen to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
In general, they tried to make it so that Yuri seems to be the only one. Okay, what's the costume we get?
Princess Luna says no one else will lose their father to Joe Chill, the negative man.
Joe Chill, the negative man. No one. Joe Chill, the killer of every. You know, I heard Joe Chill actually killed off Planet Krypton. I'm making that up, but you know something? I would love. Oh, sweet. This power's great. This power's awesome.
Well, no, he blew up Krypton and wasn't satisfied, so he had to go to Earth.
Oh my god.
Joe Chill's just like responsible for everyone's backstory.
I could see that so.
Joe Chill exposed the
easily.
Fantastic Four to space radiation.
What does that mean?
Oh god.
Sort of like mind control.
I could
It brings
see
out the
that
negative
so
part of you, makes you do things
much.
you wouldn't normally do.
Easily
That's a little
enough.
far.
Ultimate Marvel villain Joe Chill.
Coming from a guy who can run the ball.
In all seriousness,
He
yeah.
convinced Thanos the Titan to destroy half the universe.
He's the one who burned Doctor Doom, who made the mask that burned Doctor Doom's face. I'm just trying to remember where. Actually, speaking of which, I want to do this. I'm gonna try and find it because I didn't do this yet. But since we're in a sad scene, I might as well do it.
Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun.
We're gonna have fun in these sad, rainy New York times.
Yes. Alright. So we're going here, actually. Because we're not too far off from here. But
For you see, Joe Chill was actually a caveman who was exposed to a radioactive meteor,
but first, it's crime.
which explains how he was able to survive as long as he has. He also briefly worked for the Weapon X project.
You know, Joe Chill, I also heard, was into making bombs. In fact, I heard he even helped a guy called Bruce Banner make a bomb.
Yeah, that didn't go so well, though.
Ah, I did the thing!
Damn bomb in the truck.
Alright, AJ Shim, comic question for both of you. What is your favorite comic book or comic book movie quote?
Oh, comic book movie quote. Alright,
So
here.
comic book or movie.
Alright, this is my favorite comic book quote so far I ever heard. And it's not from a standard superhero book. You brought a you to me fight.
What?
You brought a you to me fight.
I don't get it. It's so weird.
I love it though. It's from a graphic novel called Sex Castle.
Okay.
It's despite the name, it's really about it's kind of like a parody of general action movies. And it's about this guy who comes to this small town trying to find peace.
Yeah.
But alrighty, let's see if we can find it here. In the north is far point of the map.
I'm gonna guess that Transformers quotes don't count because they were originally a cartoon before a comic.
Well, if you can get like a here's what I'm looking for.
Because there's so many good quotes that I know from there, but I am a bit of a fan of the Dark Knight Rises, where it's like either you was it Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises, where it's like either you die the hero or you live long enough to become the villain.
Yeah, that one's pretty.
That was Dark Knight, I think. Yeah, because because that was in relationship to Harvey Dent. I think that's a good one because I feel like I've sort of seen that just like happen in my own life, I guess. I mean, not in like such a grand scale as like actual villainy, but just like people who kind of start out hopeful and then reality hits them and then they kind of become a little cynical.
Yeah, fair enough. This is what we're gonna try to do. Nah, it's not that one. This one.
I was born in the darkness. You merely adopted it.
I merely adopted you.
Why do I talk like this? I'm supposed to be a luchador.
It is kind of strange, but admittedly, he only talks like that because after. Let's see. Is this the one?
Yeah. Why does Bane talk like that?
It was actually. Darren Barker. Not what I'm looking for. Okay, next one. I'm trying to do this for mostly a trophy, but I also haven't done this yet in my game. So, we're gonna find it. Betty Powell? Fuck that!
Who's Betty Powell?
I don't know. But...
Are we looking for Ben Parker?
Yeah! We're looking for Ben Parker's grave. Apparently, Spider-Man doesn't remember where his dead uncle is buried.
I can't remember things like that. Let's see. Princess Luna asks, why are you voiced by Tim Curry? Johnny McJim says, I really like Bane's voice, to be honest.
Bane doesn't have too much of a bad voice. But the reason they actually changed his voice up was because it didn't sound well in test audience, according to people.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, hey, we got Nerdy Giant has joined the chat. Welcome, Nerdy Giant.
Hey.
Glad you could make it.
I haven't heard of him before, so we do the usual thing of ask me any comic book question, I'll do my best to answer it.
Dave has vast comic book knowledge. Do your best to stump him.
People have tried. They haven't yet on stream.
Many have failed.
Many have failed. Some even... Alright, I'm not going to worry about it. It's just...
So this is... so Nerdy Giant, this is our first run through the game on the stream. Dave has played this game to completion on his own time, whereas myself, Hal, have not played this game at all. And so I am completely unspoiled.
Engaging police in the streets now.
Yeah, now I'm chasing a pigeon.
Criminal pigeon.
Because if I don't get it, I won't solve crime.
Solve crime.
By taking care of pigeons. And I got the pigeon!
Oh, nice. Okay, so they are way more liberal in this game than they were in Spider-Man 2 with the balloons.
Yeah.
Happy to help. You know these little guys pretty well, huh?
Aw.
Wish
what's
I
this?
made this comic about me. Kid's got a future.
Aww.
Oh, that's cute.
But then you find out that it was Joe Quesada.
Fucking Joe Quesada. Yeah,
Sandra.
Man, I have opinions about that man.
Well, tell Sandra she's got some fine.
I'll be careful. Alright, the next one...
AJ Shim asks, Comic Q, what is the idea behind Element Woman?
Element Woman?
Never heard of this character.
She is related to a character called Metamorpho. Metamorpho is the Element Man. And she was kind of like his female counterpart.
He was in an episode of Justice League?
Yep. And
okay, I know who you're talking about.
He's been in a couple things. But what happened was that she's most famous for a story where basically she wants to die because her life is horrible. And Death is like, honey, you're like an elemental woman who can turn into anything. Why are you depressed? And she was like...
Death said this?
Yes.
Yeah, Death is opinionated.
She's a perky goth in DC Comics. But until then, we're going to do some science.
Oh, Princess Luna's got... My ultimate comic question. In the Sonic comics, where are Tails' parents?
Oh. They're dead. They were turned into robots.
In the city's steam heating. It's better for the environment, but high pressure can lead.
Like, what do you want? It's the Sonic comics. And
yeah, there's only so many possibilities there. What about Uncle Chuck?
Uncle Chuck.
Sonic
also,
had his own Uncle Ben.
Yeah, well, he's also a robot, and then he died.
Princess Luna says we're wrong.
Apparently, I'm not.
Josh first says he's not sure how to feel talking about DC in a Marvel game.
I'm willing to talk about DC and Marvel. They feed off each other. So if you guys want me to talk about DC, I will talk about DC.
There's no time to do this the polite way.
You know, years ago, it was when I think the Wolverine was hitting theaters, and there was like a promotion with Red Robin restaurants, and so my girlfriend at the time, we go there, and we were like having conversations with our waiter about the movie and stuff, and so on the check we wrote something like, "We love both DC and Marvel," or something like that.
Dang it.
Okay, Princess Luna says Tails' parents were actually abducted by aliens.
Oh God, I forgot. Alright guys, let me talk about Deep Sonic lore for a second.
Oh, we're not even doing a Sonic game. You know what? So, for Dave's vast comic knowledge, I feel like Sonic might be one of the small holes in it.
It is, but I do know enough to keep up with it. Sonic's more interesting to talk about the legal shenanigans around it, to be fair, which I actually did.
The Ken Penders?
The Ken Penders shit.
Yeah.
It's
that guy.
It's one of the most fascinating things to talk about, given that.
I'm not sure I want to, like, talk shit about him or not.
We can stop, dude. The guy, dude, he's one of those guys I wouldn't even think to worry about, if I'm being honest. Ken Penders.
Not that. I just feel like a jerk.
Dude, he's a weird dude, if I'm being honest.
Well, because, like, I've seen what he's been trying to do over time, and I don't even think he's, like, that good of an artist. So I'm kind of like,
Anyway, look, Ken Penders, that's kind of one of the reasons why people bring him up in comics, the Sonic comics up at all, is just...
Like, he caused so much trouble, and he's, like, not even, like, worth it.
He's not even... Dude, it's kind of impressive.
I like your slow-mo web swinging, though.
It's neat. Alright, I gotta clear the vent. Clear the vent.
Alright.
But
Johnny McJim says Ken Penders loves his adopted son, Knuckles.
Oh, God, everybody...
And his distant relative, Ugandan Knuckles. He knows the way.
Dude, the way he wrote for Knuckles is fascinating.
Let's see. AJ Sam says, general question, what type of warrior do you both think could use more exposure?
Oh, warrior. Warrior or superhero?
Well, I mean, I guess, like, if Batman's a detective, you know, or, like, Superman is kind of, like, a straightforward character.
Maybe.
Or maybe we're talking more, like actual warrior types, like martial artists and such.
Genuinely, I always think oh, hey.
I mean, I'm a massive sucker for, like, the samurai type.
So I'm
but they have a lot of exposure.
I remember what this location is. This is actually a famous Marvel landmark. This is the bar with no name. This is where all the supervillains hang out.
The bar with no name.
Yes. It's the bar where all the supervillains...
Which is actually a name unto itself.
Yes.
Very good branding, actually.
Yeah. Well, hey, welcome to the bar with no name. All the supervillains hang out here.
Well, I was going to say, so in terms of warriors, you know, there's definitely some knights out there. Archers are covered by Green Arrow and Hawkeye.
If I would be honest, I'm trying to actually think about this, because there are actually a lot of good examples.
Warriors that practice whatever Blanca's fighting style in Street Fighter is. Electric Eel, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
But it has to be the right job. Something that makes him feel useful, like...
Oh, sweet. I killed a brute in one hit. But, okay.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. Nerdy Giant wants to know our thoughts on the Marvel video game universe, by the way.
That's possible... Alright, I heard that, like, Insomniac wants to make that a thing. I would be up for it if we got more... Okay, let me put it this way. I would be up for it if we also get different varieties of games for different characters. Because because I would love to see a team game where you could use team tactics in some way. Like, I always thought a superhero RPG style thing with a superhero team is one of those things I would love to see.
Yeah. Well, you know, the problem with making a, like, Marvel game universe is that the amount of time and money that would go into making that almost like rivals or possibly surpasses how much goes into making those movies.
Well, okay, we did a couple costumes. So we're gonna do a mission, but we're gonna do it in a specific costume. And this is where I'm gonna have to override because there's only one reason why I'm doing this. We're gonna do it in the homecoming suit. And you'll see why. Oh, and also, I'm going to be making possibly a lot of Yakuza references in this section.
Yeah. Are we going to Chinatown?
No. Literally, this is one of those cases of...
Japantown.
Well...
Chase the pigeon!
Well, yes, I gotta chase the pigeon. Chase the pigeon, chase the pigeon.
Da, 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 da.
Now I'm just thinking of that freaking old Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
You got me thinking about the God Pigeon.
The God Pigeon.
They're called like the Good Feathers.
Oh God, yeah.
On Animaniacs, and they're like hanging around. They all have like the Italian, and they like one of them was named Pesto, and I forget the rest of them. They're like Italian names.
Yeah.
But then they're like, oh, look, it's the God Pigeon, and he comes in, and he's like,
come on, I'll get you, pigeon. Yes, got the pigeon. But until then,
you got the God Pigeon.
I got the God Pigeon, and now I'm after this.
The glowing light to the sky.
Is something wrong? Oh, no. I just had to thank you for saving my daughter from those muggers.
You mean we don't have to buy an adult magazine for a 10-year-old from a back alley vending machine?
No, we don't. But I'm gonna say this. This is in Yakuza Kiwami 2, which I'm playing right now. This is the exact same mission in that game.
Awesome.
We gotta find ourselves a fake Spider-Man. Or fake Kiryu Kazuma. I can't tell anymore.
Kiryu as Spider-Man. It's just like his white suit with the Spider-Man mask on.
I would actually play
just
that.
Just like strutting around the way he does.
I would actually play that in a heartbeat. Recently, they actually did make a Yaku. Recently, they are planning on like Fist of North Star Yakuza, and if in the first week up for DLC, you can actually buy Kiryu skin. Oh, you actually get the free. It's free.
You're back already? I thought you were checking out that fire.
Yes, I was checking.
On my way now.
Which way was it again? Last time you went that way. South.
Thanks. I got a little turnaround.
Spider-Man does not have spider sense of direction.
It's true.
But yeah, on a Marvel game universe, so obviously this game is great, and everybody knows it, and it works really well. But you gotta we talked about this I think way back on our first stream with Spider-Man 2 about what it would. Why are you burying your head in that guy's crotch?
Could be the chameleon again. I've got to pick up his trail.
I have to.
Looking for evidence, are we?
Yes. Well, okay. There are a couple ways. So, in my opinion, in the next Spider-Man game, I want a couple options. So, Miles is probably going to be a playable character, and I don't know how his gameplay would be without him being... I'm going to say...
Well,
this is,
if we're going to have a Marvel universe, we're going to need, obviously...
I think...
Let's face it, we're going to need Iron Man, we're going to need Thor, we're going to need the Hulk. Those are going to be like the big guys, you know, you think of who's big in the Avengers.
I wonder where he left it.
Yeah.
So, like, what would... I feel like an Iron Man video game...
I think Iron Man would be actually pretty fun for one reason. Customizing your own Iron Man armor.
Oh, I mean, that would be a fantastic part of it. Obviously, since, like, open world's kind of like the thing for action games these days, what do you think? Would Iron Man work in that way? I don't think that's lining up. Do you?
Well, it's not the fact that it's lining up. I'm trying to combine two, so I think...
Oh, okay. No, I gotcha.
So, like this one. Dang it.
Well, you gotta put below.
Yeah, no, I accidentally hit the wrong one.
Okay,
so.
I see what you're doing.
See?
Well, yeah, okay, because, did you ever play Metal Gear Solid 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, you know how they have, like, Afghanistan as just, like, this whole map? Like, they could kind of set up a plot in which... like Iron Man is dismantling like what is it, like the 10 rings or something?
Actually, there's a very easy way to do Iron Man, and that's basing it off of. It's either called Armor Wars or Stark Wars. I'll call it Armor Wars just because that's mostly the name it's under. Where the idea is that Iron Man found out that a bunch of his technology was sold to supervillains, and he decides to grab it back from everybody who possibly has it, so he can consolidate it himself.
I was gonna say you could have kind of a large map that he can sort of like fly around and descend upon, and have lots of details, but he's kind of like stuck in this war zone. And that's what made me think of Metal Gear Solid 5. Is like you could be kind of like stuck in the in a war zone, like in the Middle East or something.
The way
and that way you're kind of like always within the action.
It's not necessarily a bad idea. One of the things I think would be cool with the Star Wars concept is that here's the thing: Iron Man fought both hero and villain in that story, so you can literally have him fight a different variety of bosses and villains and enemies.
Oh, I agree. I think there's a lot of fantastic possibilities for Iron Man as a game character. What is that?
That is a thing.
That guy looks like he's been in a fight. Maybe he knows something.
But obviously, like Spider-Man, they got web slinging right. So for Iron Man, they'd have to get his ability to fly to feel really good. They'd have to get his repulsors to feel really good, and have a good variety of abilities.
Yeah.
The deal's going down on the roof. No lie. Right. Just.
AJ Shim wants to know, what do we not like about this game?
If I'm being honest, the stealth sections are probably the only thing I really think need work. If only because they're not really that many, and they've only are good. There's only 2 good levels in each one for Mary Jane and Miles.
Got some skills.
Yeah, I'm with that. I kind of understand why they wanted to do that, but I do feel that
even if his methods are nuts.
Okay, so
because the big problem with it is that Spider-Man can literally do. There's some of them have mechanics you don't even use. Oh, there's the fake Spider-Man, and you can see why I'm in this costume for this level. And I have a fan theory about this dude, but I'm not gonna talk about it till
he's
the end.
secretly Pepsi Man.
Yes. No. But my opinion is that the stealth sections are really the lamest aspect about this game. Especially because, here's the thing. Some people are huge fans of Miles. And, you know, that's fine. I don't saying you shouldn't be. Even if I have criticism of him, like, if you like Miles, that's cool by me.
Okay, so, like, my feeling on game design. So, once upon a time, Hal was a big fan of, like, Sonic Adventure 2. And I played a whole lot of it, and that game has 6 playable characters divided across, like, essentially 3 playstyles. And so every level you switch it up, and you have to do a different thing, and each character has kind of a simple playstyle with a specific way of doing things. And none of it's all that developed after a while. And then I went and played games like Metal Gear Solid, and I was like, oh man, you play as one Solid Snake the whole time, and he's got a really defined, really developed playstyle. And I realized I like that way better. And I would much rather have a single character, a single playstyle consistent through an entire game. Hey, Spider-Man is helping Spider-Man.
Yeah, double Spider-Man!
Double Spider combo finish!
And here's...
But yeah, I'd rather just have like a single consistent playstyle in a game. And this goes back to like my theory is like when you plug in a game, like you got to think of like what's the core action of that game that you want to do. Like, you know, you play Zelda, you want to go dungeon crawling. You play Mega Man, you want to go shoot some things with awesome weapons. And any time that you're not allowed to do that is a failure of game design, I feel like.
It's one of the big problems, like I said, in this game with the stealth sections, is that they're not necessarily a bad idea. It's just that it's kind of like this.
It works from a lore perspective, it doesn't work from a gameplay perspective.
That's pretty much how it is. And I think they wanted to do that because they didn't want to make Mary Jane just the love interest, and they want to have Miles somehow in this game. But Miles, here's the thing, if you're a Miles fan, Miles doesn't get, you don't play as Miles as Spider-Man in this game at all, and I don't really feel like...
Well, you know what the best way to deal with that kind of thing is, in my opinion? Is that, so in The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess, there's sections early on in the game where you're forced to be Wolf Link. And I can consider that them taking you out of the action. and being forced to do like wolf things for a little while. But I found I suddenly liked Wolf Link right after I get the Master Sword and they give you the option to turn into him. And so I would say all of these sections would be so much better if they were just optional stuff. Like you had like a menu or a home base you could go to and like switch characters and complete different objectives for them. And be like, you know, like maybe Spider-Man will like pick up his phone and be like, I wonder what MJ's doing. And then all of a sudden you're playing as her. Well, but you chose to do that, and then you can like develop yourself that way.
Here's the thing with the Mary Jane sections too, is that the most fun I had with them was when it was more an adventure game where you were just investigating things.
How do you do it? One bruise at a time. Look, your heart's in the right place.
Rather than actually stealthing my way through the sections. Whatever. It's just
let's see.
You don't need a costume to make a difference.
But yeah.
Princess Luna says, Sonic trivia question. Who is the female character that was going to be in the Saturn Sonic game?
Oh, God. Saturn Sonic?
Saturn Sonic game. Oh, is that the Sonic Extreme?
Sonic 3.
Was it not Madonna?
Was it not Madonna? Man, I have...
No, okay, so, like, true story about Sonic the Hedgehog's development is at one point they had, like, some idea for... like a human girlfriend who is essentially Sonic's own Jessica Rabbit.
Oh god.
Named Madonna. And she was like some blonde woman.
The one and only fan club.
They rightfully chose to not include her.
Fair.
Although they backpedaled on that, you know, like 15 years later or so when they did Sonic 2006.
Oh, actually. Oh, and that badge, okay, and that guy who was pretending to be Spider-Man, I actually think I know who he is, but this is just my theory.
Yeah?
I think it's Flash Thompson.
That's a good theory.
Nobody has brought it up yet, but I like to think that's Flash Thompson, because Spider-Man is a series that runs on basic irony. And you want to know what one of the best ironies in Spider-Man is? Flash Thompson, the bully of Peter Parker, is also Spider-Man's biggest fan.
And I think that's a good irony in the story.
Yeah. And Flash Thompson is one of the weirdest comic book characters of all time for one reason.
Yeah?
He's a jerk bully who might be considered the uber jerk bully. The jerk bully, if you will.
The original... the original jerk bully of comics.
He actually got character development and became a good guy.
Didn't he become, like, Secret Agent Venom or something?
Yes, and that was awesome.
I don't understand.
Flash Thompson... Okay, so in the comics... Alright, you have to understand, Spider-Man's been around for 80... Oh god, I think it might be 80 years.
Wait, what?
No, sorry, 60 years.
What year did he come out?
62.
1962. Okay, so...
40, 60 years.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man's been around 60 years, sorry. Blah. 60 years.
We can math. We swear.
Sometimes. 60 years. And you see, Flash went to the Vietnam War.
Mm-hmm.
And he experienced the horrors and became a better person. Oh, this one's kind of fun. And pretty easy to get done. I'm just going to do it.
Hey, Pete. Now, this station tracks GPS chips deployed around the city on birds and...
Oh no, they're watching the birds.
Yes.
Spider-Man is helping the police state of New York City.
Yes, with my spider drones, who will solve crime.
I know we briefly talked about it last stream. But, yeah, apparently, like, several more articles have been written where people are upset that Spider-Man is in league with the police and yada yada.
Again...
And it's like, what do you expect? Superheroes fight crime.
Alright, I hate to say this to those people. Oh, no, I want to say this to those people. Spider-Man only helps one cop in the entire damn game!
Yeah, but, you know.
Like, he helps them out at one point...
They're just writing clickbait articles.
Yeah, and now I am a Spider-Bot.
Spider-Bot. Looks up girl's skirts. Spider-Bot.
This is kind of fun, I will admit.
Climbs up slides in the playground. Scares small children. That's what he does.
I'm a Spider-Bot. Whee!
Yeah.
I can also shoot people.
I think I'm just amazed these days at, like, the state of quote-unquote games journalism where they will write nonsense about everything.
Dude, in all seriousness, Spider-Man has one cop on the Force friend at best. In this
We're going
game.
into the Matrix.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I hope it didn't get run over. New York drivers have no
So
respect
to me, it's not a big deal in comparison because look, this game does a really good version of Spider-Man, but the fact is that's the only thing they complain. I'm surprised they didn't bring out somehow.
Well, the original person who wrote that article was like, "I'm 5 hours into the game, but this bugs me."
Of course he did.
So that's not a game review. You know, because my thing is like, if you're writing a game review, you should really finish that game.
Proximity alarm? What? Oh, you gotta be kidding me!
I mean, it's rough, and you got captured by a pigeon.
Yep, and we can now see that pigeons are the greatest menaces.
Wing day at the bird gym.
Hey, JJ's Videos, welcome to the chat.
Yep, happy to see you.
Its nest.
We are now in the middle. My spider bot was kidnapped, and now I have to go save him, so I can solve crime.
Harry really did
Nice.
solid that time.
But yeah, like, or you remember the Cuphead thing where the one journalist, like, passed the tutorial level?
Yeah.
And then it brought up, like, all this vitriol. And my defense of the people who were complaining there is that you wouldn't send someone with like a first grade reading level to go review your novels, or you wouldn't send a blind person to review your movies.
I am now Lucha Spider-Man.
So yes, game journalists should be good at video games.
Alright, so here's some commentary about this costume. This is Spider-Man's wrestling costume, which we just unlocked. And yeah, here. This is what it looks like. I am Spider-Man as a wrestler. I am.
He's got his back, Spider.
Yep. The classic, and this is kind of based on the ultimate incarnation of this look.
Okay.
The original was just a white shirt with a net mask, actually, and then he upgraded into this costume, the one we all know and love, and tolerate.
Yeah.
All right, time to do a new costume.
Yeah. So we get the chat to vote.
All right, chat. Vote time on new costume.
All right, chat.
You have a couple options.
Let's vote on the costume.
I'm just going to cycle through them. And once I'm done, we will see who will it be.
5 votes, number 5 again. I think he's stuffing the ballot box.
Number 5! Number 5! What about my sexy black costume? Oh yeah, baby. We also have Spider-Punk for the nice webs. The nice little jean look. And you know, if you want to stay warm. I have an action figure of this at home.
It's a neat look.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so is it just me, or like I associate that kind of like punk sort of aesthetic with like the 80s?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and I was thinking like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
To be fair, it's 70s, and I kind of like it as a bit of a... Here, one of my favorite bands is the Ramones, actually, and they are... And they have a huge influence on the punk scene, relatively.
Let's see, okay. Princess Luna says naked.
We don't have
JJ's
that.
video says a Buell one. AJ Sim says, I vote for wrestling suit that you had on because Bonesaw is ready.
Bonesaw is ready!
Jasper says, I would, but you haven't unlocked the best suits yet. Professor Dragonite says dark suit. Johnny McJim says give the weird muscular red and black one. Jasper says nega Spidey. JD's video says negative suit.
Alright.
Negative. I'm hearing neggy.
We're doing negative.
Nega Spidey.
Nega Spider-Man. Once again. Face the negative web.
It's a good filter they put on it. They're a good shader.
I am negative. Hold it. I got it. Oh, crime is happening. I won't solve it today.
Time to solve crimes.
Again. Oh, look. It's a car chase.
He's trying to solve it, but then he has to throw in the quadratic equation. And
I'm gonna have to do the thing.
You know, speaking of solving things, let me tell you how Hal solved calculus class in college. I got to, it was like a long day of like my final semester in college, and I had already had like a big business presentation earlier.
Aww.
Oh, you didn't do the thing.
I didn't do the thing.
And so I get to like, I was struggling on the calculus exam, and I get to like the last question, and it was like a volume equation or something, and I'm like staring at the page, and I was like, I don't know what this is. And so rather than filling in any math, I drew like this really detailed like manga picture of a character of mine like staring off the page, and his like scarf blowing dramatically in the wind. And I wrote a paragraph about how my future employers aren't going to care whether or not I know calculus, and they're only going to care if I know how to draw and animate.
That's fair.
I passed math class with a D. And you know what? You know what that means? I still got to graduate.
Hey, bomb! Ah, I love the web bombs. So useful. And now I'm solving crime in the air.
So, I would like to think that Peter Parker solves crime in a similar manner to that.
I solve crime in the air.
He's sitting there, it's like, huh, calculus? Huh, and then he just grabs their heads and smashes them together.
I hate calculus. Oh, God. Why me?
I mean, my utmost respect to people who know how to do all that really well and can put it to good use, but I'm not one of them.
Now it's time to do more crime solving.
MJ's hunch was right. Place is crawling with demons.
Oh, stealth. My favorite thing. I am so negative now. Oh, God.
Oh, no, he's become negative, Dave.
What will I do?
Suspicious Pie says, my dad played tennis during his calculus final in freshman year. Princess Luna says, I don't even know how to do calculus. AJ Shim says, comic question. When was the idea of May Parker made?
First Spider-Man story.
Like when did Marvel decide to give Spider-Man a child, and why?
Oh, early 90s, the Clone Saga. So, okay.
JJ's video says die. I don't know if that's in reply to AJ Shim or us. He just keeps repeating die.
Aw, dang it. I failed the stealth mission. I should have tried.
Professor Dragonite says, ha, I never took calculus. Suck it, school. Yeah, you know, I've been seeing a lot of things lately about how it's kind of a rat race. That college is a little bit of a racket where you pay a lot of money to get a fancy sheet of paper, but then you end up with a lot of debt. And that's ultimately just a money-making scheme on the part of the government or the bigwigs and whatever.
That's what I've been hearing too, but, you know, it is what it is.
So, yeah, I think my joke I made in our War of the Gems thing was correct. Today on Spider-Man, Peter Parker faces his greatest foe yet, student loan debt.
Of course, the greatest of all Peter Parker enemies.
How am I gonna find a job that lets me be Spider-Man and still pay off my student loans?
When will I? It's Peter Parker's too relatable.
Yeah. Everybody's gotta find their own path.
Well, you know, Spider-Man, use your electric webs.
AJ Shim thinks we hit the nail on the head. Professor Dragonite says, that describes my education to a T.
Pretty much, unfortunately. It is what it is now.
Yeah.
Find a junction box.
Yeah, I think there's got to be a better way.
It's still stable. Maybe there's
I feel like we're kind of in this like problem place where everybody's trying to aspire, or like so many people in college are trying to aspire to like higher and higher levels of jobs, and yeah, some of them are cut out for it. Some of them are very smart and very skilled and are able to go for those higher levels, and I think some people really aren't cut out for it, and that's kind of the problem that we're encountering. is that, like, whether or not they were cut out for it, they both end up in the same place.
Well,
they both end up with a pile of student debt, and some people do real well and they can pay it off and have a good job, and other people, you know, come out of college no better than they were when they entered it.
Well, another big thing is that I think America also has a big problem with showing alternatives to college for people who might need it. A lot of people focus on college as the only option, when really, like, apprenticeships...
You know, I can relate to that because my parents were just like, you're going to college. And, you know, I did get my college degree and I did have some good experiences, but there are definitely days where I'm like, why did I ever do this?
It's
because I look at certain people who are successful in similar fields to what I want to be into, and some of them dropped out of school. Some of them dropped out of high school. And I'm like, damn, if my parents were not so, like, by the book, and I was able to kind of pull that kind of thing on my own, might have been a totally different person.
Yeah, it's fair. In all seriousness, I can understand wanting to go, but there are issues with it. In general, I think one of the most important things right now is it might be a good idea to start encouraging alternative ways of getting jobs and training and stuff like that.
I mean, what I think is that there should be less pressure for people to think that college is the only way. I think they should view it as a viable option, but they should be encouraged to consider their opportunities.
Yeah.
That's what I think, because that way, it's there if it will help them, and or maybe they'll, you know, take some time off after high school, and they'll figure it out that it is worth it to go to college, rather than just being thrust into it as soon as they graduate.
Hey, did you find Lee?
Because that's what happened to me. You know, no breaks. Just like high school, college, whatever.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we're talking about some real stuff.
We apparently are getting
we stopped being funny a little while ago, apparently.
We apparently are getting very real right now. How do people like us being real? And this is why we don't play with negative Spider-Man so often. We become negative.
JJ Video says, negative Dave, die.
Die, die.
Let's see.
Die.
Yuri, it's me.
Yuri! Please listen to my pain, Yuri!
Martin Lee and the demons are planning another attack. This time on Norman
JJ's
Osborn's
video says,
campaign
I need some Z, comma S. Do you need some Z's, JJ? Are you tired?
Are you sleepy, JJ? Tell us, JJ, about your sleep deprivedness.
Josh First says, Ruby, massively explosive popular web series made by a guy who dropped out of high school, and his parents supported him to 3D animate every day afterwards.
And then he was killed by Rooster Teeth.
Well, you know, Josh, that's what I was talking about.
And then he was killed by Rooster Teeth.
Oh, don't even joke about that,
I'm
man.
sorry. I feel sorry for what happened with him, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's actually exactly what I was talking about, Josh, is that, you know, especially in, like, really creative fields, you can't teach creativity. You can teach skills to use tools, but you can't teach the creativity itself. And so you look at someone like Monty, who had the drive and really wanted to do that, and he taught himself the tools even. So, yeah, it's a different story for every person, is what I would say. All right, AJ Shim bringing it back around.
All right.
Comic question: besides Mary Jane, Black Cat, and Gwen Stacy, who else was a love interest for Spider-Man?
All right. So there's actually been a couple.
Black Cat is best girl.
Yes. Fair enough. I'll let you be wrong about that. But the first one. All right. For a long time, I was always confused by this as a kid. They often said that Gwen Stacy was the first the trap mine. This is actually going to be very useful. This is going to be used for stealth missions. But Betty Brant was the first girlfriend Spider-Man was in love with. Well, not necessarily in love with, but she was used in a major story. So,
and this was back in the 60s?
Yep, she was used in a couple major story beats.
That, my friends, is what karmic justice looks like.
Man, Peter Parker, Betty Brant, all that alliteration.
Welcome to Stan Lee trying to remember names.
Is that why?
Yeah.
He had to remember names that way?
It was easier to remember. Dude, he called Peter Parker Peter Palmer one time in one comic.
Yeah? How did Ray Palmer feel about this?
Good question. It did lead to a pretty funny joke in one comic where they were trying to create... Alrighty. I'm going to take him down.
Sleep it off.
And then him.
Josh first. My college education experience. Highlight my core classes meant to fill my portfolio. Team member held final project hostage. Team member did his literal bare minimum and literally fucked off. Yeah. Yeah, I know it well.
Alright, besides Betty Brant, there's also Liz Allen was interested in Peter Parker, though they never really dated that often in the comics. Another one after that was freaking... There's kind of a lot of love. Another one is famous Deborah Whitman, who got so obsessed with Peter Parker, not knowing what he was doing drove her insane. Sorry. I almost fucked that up.
Okay, so wait. When I said that Black Cat was best girl, and you were like, it's okay to be wrong. Who's best girl? Mary Jane?
To me, yes. I'm willing to say that.
So I mean, I totally understand that she's the canon girl.
It's not.
And this might be a rare case. Okay, so in the shipping wars, Hal almost never ships anyone. And so I'm like, the fact that I even have any inclination that Spider-Man should be with Black Cat is a rare, like, moment of Hal shipping anything.
I can see that very easily.
And I guess for me, like, if I was in his position, she would be really attractive to me because she's someone who understands my lifestyle.
Alright.
And is more likely to understand me.
Fair. What?
JJ's videos. Comic question: Who wore the Winma Smedbed? I don't understand.
Who
I don't think that's English.
Okay. You might want to retype that, JJ's TV.
Hey, Renault Discordia, welcome back. Princess Luna says, I ship Marceline and Bonnie. And it came true. Well, okay.
Fair.
Suspicious Pie says, the shipping wars between FedEx and UPS.
Ah, the best shipping wars.
Professor Dragonite says, my only ship is Ryan and Charla in Xenoblade. Only because it's not confirmed. It's, like, half confirmed, but it's actually really disturbing if you ask me. Because, like, I'm pretty sure they use the same character model for both Ryan and Godot in that game. And Ryan just has, like, a darker texture skin.
Yeah.
So, Ryan is literally the replacement goldfish for Charlotte's dead Machina boyfriend.
Wow. This has gotten very dark.
Oh, you know. Well, okay, so that's why, like... So let's bring it around to Gundam, because Gundam's cool. In Gundam 00, I like that the second Lock-On Stratos works really hard to get out of his brother's shadow. To the point that, like, he goes and kisses the same girl that liked his brother. Just to, like, piss her off and be like, I'm not my brother.
That was always a good moment in that. Yes.
I like that about him, that he's, like, he's aware of his position.
More spider investigations.
Let's see. AJ Shim says, comic question, what is your opinion on Adam Strange and his series?
Adam Strange is underrated, but very old school. Adam Strange, for people who don't know, since he's kind of an obscure DC character by most standards, his idea is very simple.
Josh first said that my best ship is the USS Enterprise.
That's fair.
Thank you, Josh. You made my night.
Okay, now we got the demon bases. That's going to be fun to take into account. Woo. So, anyway. In comic... Anyway, Adam Strange has a very simple concept, I would say, that's not too out
like
there,
the
but it
demons
boils
have
down to, hi, I'm an archaeologist who was chosen by this alien planet. Oh, the whip dude to save it. Anyway,
got all anime up in here.
Whip wasn't enough.
Actually, you know, that makes me think of something. That
I don't
like,
know what I was expecting.
did you just defeat him like easily?
yeah.
So much for whip, dude.
Yeah, as you can see, I am the Spider-Man.
You are the Spider-Man. So the advanced suit's web ability is like the best one, I guess. Huh?
No, that's not the advanced suit. That's the regular Spider-Man suit.
That's the regular suit's ability?
Yes.
What's the advanced suit's ability?
Not as good. Okay, let me show off the different powers now, since I guess we didn't do it. Battle focus.
Yeah, because I would have thought that was the first suit's power.
Nope, this is apparently the suit that belongs to Classic. So apparently Spider-Man's just like, you want to see my ultimate power? Oh, let me go back to Classic. Of course, Silence Noir.
My love, my anger, and all of my webbing!
Hollow Decoy Clone Saga Scarlet Spider suit. Bulletproof is bulletproof. I know it's called the Mark II, but I always remember it's bulletproof armor because that's its whole thing. Arms Race, I guess it's a reference to the Secret Wars comic. Who cares? Spider Bro is kind of fun because you get a little drone who follows you around and shoots people. Negative Shockwave is, I'm so negative, guys. Oh, God. Kill me. Electric Punch is, of course, Electric Punch! Rock Out, one of my favorite abilities in this game. King of the Ring lets you be able to... You see, they have to be webbed up if you want to spin them around. This actually lets you do it without having to do that. It's kind of a neat ability, but very not too worth it. Let's do Negative Shockwave.
Are you positive? Lost my train of thought on whatever we were doing with the suits. Oh yeah, I was gonna say that I kind of hate it when people are like, oh, I only like anime, I only like manga, I don't like comics, or vice versa, because I'm like, okay, they may be published in different countries, but the principle is the same.
Dude, I've been trying to say that for years with people, but no, they just want to be like...
So the fact that I'm like, oh, we're getting really anime with Whip Guy here, I'm like, no, we're just like having cool sci-fi action happening here, regardless of what country we're in.
Yeah, look, Spider-Man's been... Look, in all seriousness, Rumiko Takashi, I believe, once said that Peter Parker was a huge inspiration, even in the manga industry, too. Oh, hey! These dudes! Oh, God, these are actually going to be major.
Is Metal Gear Solid happening?
Kind of. Let me introduce you to another major Spider-Man character in this case. We're about to meet her.
Silver Sable.
Yep, Silver Sable, who may or may not get a Marvel movie from Sony.
Oh, he knocked them down. He's like, that's not how we do. You go, Spider-Man.
Whoa! Before we do this, who the hell are you guys?
Anyway, as you can see,
SM1, Spider-Man.
Silverbird. I get it. We are in. This is Silver Sable, who also may or may not want Spider-Man's dick. This is kind of weird what they do to her in this game, considering... Okay, so they set her up as kind of like a fascist analog in this game. And I'm going to say this, that it's kind of weird if you actually know about her comic book origins. She's a Nazi hunt. In the comic book?
She's a Nazi hunter?
Yeah, that's literally her origin.
Oh, Spider-Man got webbed.
Her country... Her fictional country was invaded by Nazis and she wants vengeance upon them. So she secretly makes... So she makes a mercenary group called the Wild Pack to go down and try and hunt Nazis. Like I said, considering the origins of the character as a Nazi hunter, to see her used as like the fascist analog is weirdly ironic, and I don't know if that was intentional.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say. Do not fight with monsters, lest ye become one.
Yeah, fair. You got another question?
Let's see. JJ's video says, comic question, who wore the Venom symbiote?
How?
Hey, sorry about
You
that
want me
table
to
thing.
mention all of them?
It all happened so
I mean, it wasn't initially Spider-Man wore it as the black suit, and then
There-
it became attached to Eddie Brock,
There was recently...
who is the main Venom character.
Well, kind of. Okay. So, there's been a lot of retcons recently. So, in canon, the first one we ever see it on is Peter Parker. Second one was Eddie Brock. Later followed up by a guy called Angelo Fortuna, who was a mob boss son, who literally bid on the Venom symbiote. Angela Fortunata, I believe, whatever. People always forget about him, but I don't. Because I am that type of nerd.
Because Dave never forgets.
And then it was, and then Matt Gargan, the Scorpion, got it
Plan next.
for a while.
Venom Scorpion?
Yes, Venom Scorpion. It's not as cool as it sounds.
Oh, damn. You know, once upon a time when Little Hal was making Mega Man X fanfiction, Venom Scorpion was one of his mavericks.
Venom Scorpion.
What are Howard's pigeons? Come on. He's a fast one.
Frickin' pigeon, yeah. I'll get you, you pigeon. I'll get you, pigeon.
Maverick Pigeon.
Pigeon frick.
Missed another call from Doc.
But after that, it started getting with Flash Thompson. He was a major one. Those are like the main people who had the Venom symbiote. Oh, at one point, Venom's ex-wife had the Venom symbiote. She became She-Venom.
Venom's ex-wife.
I forget her name. And she
Because Venom is a symbiote monster from space. He doesn't have ex-wives as far as...
Eddie Brock's ex-wife.
Eddie Brock's ex-wife. That makes more sense.
Sorry. Anyway.
Well, Eddie Brock is now played by Bane.
Yes, which is... I'll talk about that. I don't want to think about that movie right now.
Yeah, me neither.
I want to think about it like a turd in the
I
wind.
can't think of a Spider-Man verse without Spider-Man.
Way too many bullets flying over there.
Let's see. AJ Shim says, comic question. Why does Immortal Fist have such a lame rogues gallery?
Iron Fist? Well, okay. Iron Fist does not actually have that lame rogues gallery, but I will say it hasn't been used that well. Because the Immortal Iron Fist weapon actually had some pretty great characters who could have been really cool villains. But the unfortunate part is that Iron Fist only had 15 issues, and his greatest rogue was taken by another character.
Which one was that?
Sabretooth.
Oh!
Saving our butts, Spidey.
Yeah. Yeah, that was taken by another character. That was taken by another character so hard that it's never getting back.
Yeah. In all seriousness, Sabretooth first...
Because you tell me about Sabretooth, and I'm thinking Wolverine. I had no idea that there was any Iron Fist.
No, the first time Sabretooth appeared in comic was in Iron Fist.
Man, that's like fascinating. It's like the thing where Wolverine started out as like a Hulk villain.
I don't know, Blasto, the last Hanar Spectre.
Captain Blasto.
Yep, one of my
Isn't that
favorite.
like a PS1 game?
No. Well, there was Blasto, but I'm also thinking of Mass Effect. Blasto, the Hanar Spectre.
Okay.
When I was younger.
Mass Effect. I played only Mass Effect 2, which I hear is the good one.
Yes, you're not wrong.
Because the first one was good, but a little bit clunky, and 3 was when EA corporate greed took over.
Yeah. But anyway, with Spider-Man though, Iron Fist doesn't have...
AJ Shim says Iron Fist always gets shafted.
In all seriousness, Iron Fist at least has some critically acclaimed comics to his name. There are worse shafted characters out there, believe it or not.
He was in Ultimate Spider-Man and got to be the cool martial arts roommate.
In all seriousness, if you want to see the best version of Iron Fist, look up the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Hero cartoon for the episode season. That's pretty much perfect Iron Fist and how he's supposed to be written. Very well written, very well done. Those are probably... And also, a pitch-perfect Luke Cage as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, okay, now I'm interested, because I've heard pretty much nothing but good things about Avengers, the Earth's Mightiest Heroes. And so I'm a massive fan of the Justice League cartoon. And
if you like the Justice League cartoon, it's really good.
Yeah, like if there's an Avengers cartoon like that, I would love to see it, and I feel bad that I kind of missed it.
In all seriousness, I wouldn't mind going for it. Anyway.
AJ Ship says, expletive deleted, that Ultimate Spider-Man show.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Avengers Earth Mightiest Hero. That had a pitch perfect.
No, I mentioned Ultimate. Alright. Aunt May!
Aunt May! Oh god, Aunt May! I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Actually, I do.
I know, I'm gonna trade my marriage to bring you back to life in the future.
Yeah, fucking, actually. This game has a lot of subtle digs at One More Day, but I'll say this. There isn't a bigger dig at One More Day than the ending of this game. And that's all I'm going to say about the ending at the moment. But we'll have some fun with it.
Might help him too.
Maybe people will find out, but anyway.
Here's his mom's number.
Anyway, here's one of the things how they involve Miles within the life of Peter Parker is that he starts working for Aunt May at the volunteer house. And that I thought was really good. Again, this is so far the best version of Miles ever, and I will stick by that statement.
You know, I want to say that Aunt May here has an interesting character model that they've created. She's very real.
I should check out Lee's
you know?
office.
And now, Peter Parker is going to break into someone's office.
There's a lot of details that they put into her that the realistic details of the elderly.
This office is locked. How do I get in there?
All right.
Quietly.
Now, Peter, go.
Connor556 says, "Hey,
hi, dude.
Hey, welcome to the chat, Connor.
Hey, once again, I answer any.
Are you an android?
Are you an android or hey? And also, traditionally, I also do all. And if you let's see if you can stump me on comic book questions.
Dave has a vast knowledge of comic book trivia. Do your best to try to stump him. Although, admittedly, Princess Luna got him on the Sonic the Hedgehog stuff, but I declare shenanigans on that.
Sonic the Hedgehog stuff is weird.
Sonic the Hedgehog
dumb.
is its own animal. It is a hedgehog, and it is not within like the other comics.
The shrine in the photo is missing the picture.
That was really cool seeing Peter Parker kind of like stealth around, doing his same Spider-Man animation without the suit on.
I kind of wish there was more stuff you could do as Peter Parker, just as like, you know, like
okay, what they should do is they should allow you to just suit up as just Peter Parker.
You
know,
know,
like a New Game Plus thing. Like you finish the game, you can just choose to be
as
Peter Parker.
Weird as it sounds, I wish they would let you take Mary Jane out on dates.
Mary Jane dating sim.
Yes.
Make it happen, Space Cadets.
I actually think that would be great to just have, or at least, here's the thing, I wish they also had a bugle mode, where you had to take pictures of yourself as Spider-Man during fight scenes, or, you know, like, you had to choose the best pictures from your camera, and you make money off that. As weird as that sounds, I think it would be cool.
No, I agree with you. That's a neat idea. I'm actually a little surprised they didn't do that.
Let's see. We have to read this, by the way. God! Hey, by the way, May, I'm turning evil. You got this. My love.
Dear May, I feel the evil rising within me.
As you know.
Let's see. Connor556 says, Kirsten Dunst should have played Mary Jane Watson as she did in the 3 Spider-Man movies. Thoughts?
What did he exactly say?
He said that Kirsten Dunst should have played Mary Jane like she did in the Spider-Man movies. So I guess for this game.
Yeah,
well,
guess.
This game's character models aren't based on any actors that we know of.
In all seriousness,
they're definitely kind of trying to make it their own thing.
I will say this: looking at older pictures of Yuri Lowenthal, his Peter Parker is pretty Yuri Lowenthal.
I mean, it's definitely something they do these days, where they do facial capture.
About a demon that could only be
like
balance.
What was it? Metal Gear Solid 5 was actually really huge.
Oh, look, he has a black and white chessboard.
He must be good and evil. Look at his hot wife.
No, that's his mom and dad. Look at his hot parents.
Your mom is hot.
Alright.
Well, anyways. But, Metal Gear Solid 5, I remember, besides Snake, actually a ton of those characters they were based on the actors that were playing them. So I remember there's this actress named Stephanie Houston who was Quiet, and it's like she didn't have hardly any speaking lines, but she still portrayed the character in the game, and the character's model was based on her likeness. So they could have easily done that for Yuri Lowenthal in this game.
Oh, look! It's the evil negative versions of his parents! Ha 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 ha!
AJ, let's see. Connor 5. Oh, AJ Sim says that Kirsten Dunst hates that role.
She's not a fan from last time I checked, but to be fair, I can kind of get it. Oh, look. I'm going evil, guys! Help me! I'm going evil!
I lost the path of balance. I have no honor.
Yeah, clearly no honor. Not surprised, but
okay, so Family Guy made a joke about this somewhere. It was like a long time ago. About the, who would win in a hot body weird face contest. And one of them was Kirsten Dunst. And I'm kind of with that, where like she's got a certain kind of face that's like, she's kind of pretty, but I don't know what it is about her that throws me off. I really don't. Like, I wouldn't even say that she's not pretty. But there's like something about her that throws me off whenever I look at her.
I don't remember what I'm supposed to do here.
Let's see. AJ Shim says, "What are your thoughts on superhero parodies like Mermaid Man?"
Mermaid Man and Border... Funny enough. Some are good, some are bad.
Oh, you just died while I was not looking.
Yeah, because...
While I was reading the chat. I forget, was, did they have, like, Adam West on the voices for one of those?
Adam West's been in a couple of them, if I'm being honest. I forgot to look at these.
Like, was he Mermaid Man?
No, he was not Mermaid Man. But he was in Kim Possible as a Batman parody as well. He was also in Very Odd Parents as Catman, a Batman parody.
Yeah. Well, he was the Grey Ghost in the Batman the Animated Series?
Yeah.
And he was a character who inspired Batman in that storyline.
Oh, that was great. One of my favorite episodes of the entire series.
That is wonderful.
But in all seriousness...
That was a wonderful way to honor him, too.
Yeah, and that was before Adam West actually came back and all stuff. So, guys...
He became Mayor Adam West.
So, guys, let me tell you about the weirdest Adam West thing I know about. So, back in the day, you couldn't get the Batman 1966 TV series on DVD. And Adam West wanted to talk about it. So, he made an entire DVD of him doing a commentary over Batman episodes while doing the weirdest things you could imagine as a commentary, including painting in his basement, just talking about episodes. It is weird. But if you ever want to see an entire commentary of Adam West talking about the Batman TV show while painting, there is a DVD out there for it.
Push the thing.
What? Push the... Okay, did it?
Yeah.
Hello, Peter.
Oh, hey, Mr. Lee. You're not turning evil, are you? Why, Peter, how could you tell?
Martin, you're back.
Are you positive?
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm positively negative.
Things from my office.
You must have heard about
Adam West as Bob Ross.
Yes.
Adam West as Bob Ross would be the best thing ever. I think Adam West is Bob Ross.
Very lucky.
Clearly.
And an Osborne rally.
But
Didn't know you were a fan. Well,
But it is one of the most unique, weird, like, media things I want to see. I want to try and find that DVD and just watch it just to see. But here's the thing. It's Adam West commenting over 66 episodes. I don't remember how long the Batman show is, but he literally did a commentary for each episode on that.
Wow.
So I'm just kind of so it's
that's really cool, and he got it out there, right? Like,
yeah.
because of that, it was out there on DVD.
Well, yeah, you can actually the only place you could get it was you had to buy it from him, but people were able to get it. It's weird that it existed, but it existed. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. But you know, I love weird shit like that.
Man, I can't get over like how well done the facial modeling in this game is.
Oh God!
Negative man.
It's Peter Parker's worst enemy.
He's got like a subtle smile.
God, it's Peter Parker's worst enemy.
I mean, I don't want to like play the stereotype with this, but he is definitely like the subtle Asian man, where he's like smugly smiling to himself quietly while he gets into his car, knowing that his guys are getting Peter.
Soon. Well, time to get on the negative.
Well, hey, we got the negative suit on. We are ready to get him.
Should... Oh, hold it. Let's see what we level up. Yeah, we level up.
Captain Watanabe.
I finally got your evidence.
Well, you know, hey chat, maybe you guys have some ideas about this, because I feel like stereotypes exist for a reason, and, you know, it's not necessarily even like a negative thing. It's just like they exist because there's a real-world basis for it.
To an extent. But
oh, I mean, of course, it's a little cartoonishly exaggerated, but still.
I believe there are. I'm not going to talk about stereotypes because, frankly, I rather focus on the Spider-Man.
I mean, let's talk about like we can talk about superhero stereotypes.
There are some superhero stereotypes. If I ever have to see another Superman parody who's evil, I'm just going to be like. Oh, shit. I can upgrade my web shooters. We're going to upgrade my web shooters. I need the nearest land. There. We're going here. Whee!
MJ, hey. Just checking in.
Peter, hey. Can I call you back?
I think you'll want to hear this. Wait. Why are you whispering?
Just in the middle of something. How about we catch up over dinner? My place?
Oh,
Ooh.
I'll cook.
God.
Got invited over for dinner.
God, is it that stealth section?
I think I just saw it in action.
There we go.
You know,
some perfectly nice homeless people just jumped me.
My hot ex-girlfriend invited me over for dinner.
I remember Yuri telling me something similar about the
there.
Be spider webbing all over the place.
Oh, hold it. Now.
There's more. But I guess we'll talk.
Time to do more upgrades. Whee!
Dinner. What should I cook?
Let's see. AJ Shim says stereotypes are just minor truths exaggerated. Yeah, that's one way to put it for sure.
I could see that. Anyway,
is that in general certain people have acted a certain way and then people have blown that up in a big way? Yeah.
Okay, now I completely upgraded the web shooters.
It's partly like acknowledging culture, like because depending on what culture you look at, they have certain values that they hold.
Excuse me.
And those tend to kind of inform the behavior of the people within that culture. You know, like let's bring it home, like the stereotype that Americans are like, you know, rowdy or boisterous.
This is my defining moment. Can't wait to
yeah, dude, there's a lot. Look, and
it's a culture of a country that's founded on rebellion against the colonial rule.
I'll say this is going to get a little serious, but I come from a family. Let me put it this way: as a guy who has a Jewish father, I have talked about Jewish stereotypes, and I do know a lot about them overall.
That's right.
Hell, I remember trying to talk about Watto.
Demons are on a suicide
run.
Jedi mind tricks don't work on me. Only money.
It's true. He is.
You know, ironically, I have a tradition of Jewish best friends, so
it's true. But now
Dave is one of many.
Oh, do the thing! I did the thing!
You were doing the thing. And, you know, it's got nothing to do with anything. It's just, I meet cool people, and they are whoever they are.
Oh, you... Here, have some mail!
AJ Shim says he needs more friends.
Don't worry, Shim. We're your friends.
Remember, it's quality, not... Oh my god.
Oh, frickin' A. It's the ninja dude.
He just animated that ground. But yeah, no, I really feel like, for me, it's like quality, not quantity when it comes to friends. Because I've really pushed myself to be more sociable, but I still, at my core, am very much like an introvert. And so, like, social interactions can be very taxing for me. And, like, I was having a deep conversation with some people at one point where I was like, you know, it's actually, like, kind of emotionally painful to meet new people. And, like, because, like, you have to, like, then adjust yourself for them and figure out who they are and, you know, like, open yourself up. And, like, I've gotten way better at putting up a strong front so that I can connect with those people. But at the same time, there's a part of me that really would rather just go back to the people that I already know and I'm already comfortable with and have already led into my bubble. So, you know.
Well, right now we're catching a pigeon.
But I know people who are the total opposite, where, like, they love meeting new people. It makes them so happy, and they love, like, not knowing anything, and because they want to solve that puzzle.
It's very true. It's like,
yeah, everybody's different.
I'll say this: I'm an introvert who likes meeting new people who are at least nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how we met. Was just sitting there at the hobby shop at the Gundam aisle. And I was just like, hey, Gundam's cool. You like Gundam? Gundam's cool.
I'm cool with Gundam.
Yeah, Gundam.
There's another dude who was there, too, who, like...
I have never spoken with that guy.
Again. Yeah, nah.
Yeah, like, I think I got both your phone numbers, but I only ever talked to you.
Fair. That's because I'm better. But then again, we also saw each other at MagFest more often.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, you know, I'll hang out with him. He seems a decent-ish picture.
We're going to have...
And that's why Jonah
we'll have to make sure we get in on MagFest 2019, and we'll have some good stories to share, I'm sure.
Yeah,
because there are no good stories to share from 2018 as far as Hal's concerned.
I had a good time.
Hal nearly died.
Yeah, that is true. I had to kind of invest... There was, like, kind of a moment there where I was like, should I check in on Hal? I'm sure he's fun. Oh, God!
Nice shot.
Thank you. I've become very good at this.
You've got it on the fly.
That's kind of what I mean. I would love if the game actually gave me credit for, like, doing that for J. Jonah Jameson or something.
That's a wicked cool aerial shot you got there, Parker.
How
sure Spider-Man didn't take it?
Jonah! How could Spider-Man have the artistic sense? He's a menace. And menaces don't have artistry. You're right, Peter.
Good thinking, Parker. I knew why I hired you.
Ha! Now you're fired, but you're rehired at a lower pay rate.
Suspicious Pie says, hasn't been to MagFest in a few years. Has it changed at all? Not sure. I've only been to 2 MagFests so far.
It has changed massively since I've been going there, if I'm being honest. A couple people, it got so big in comparison. MagFest used to be a very intimate con in comparison to a lot of other places. You could very easily just have a fun time with your friends or meet new people very easily. Nowadays, it is very huge to the point of sometimes cacophonous, I would say, is probably a good way of putting it.
Especially when the Colossus roar gets going.
Yeah. You can kind of blame me a bit for that, because I help.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I participate in those.
Fair. Anyway, I only participate during MagFest. I try to keep it off the rest of the year. It's only a MagFest thing.
Wait, what's that glowing light shooting up to the sky?
It's,
Baku Paku?
It's a Baku Paku.
Baku Paku.
Oh, hey, this is cool.
When the vulture cracked my eye lens, it almost blinded me.
Yep, Suspicious Price says if I go, I'll probably drive.
A stronger material.
I try to do a carpool with people. You know, considering that I usually have off, I'm actually probably only going to be able to go one day this year, unfortunately, but I'll make it fun. You hear that? Or I'll just go after work. And
you'll have to plan ahead, you know, just like put in for time off or something.
It's kind of like this. There's a big problem. The guy who I'm working with, the guy who wants to go too.
Oh yeah. Can't have your entire store call out. Well, anyways, that's another story for another time.
Yeah, so I'm actually gonna probably just only go one day at best, and we'll see. Which sucks, but hey, it's kind of like this. I also want to save up money this year, so I'm gonna do less cons this year overall. And hopefully I'll be able to do more next year.
I was gonna say, much has changed in the last 24 hours. Hal must make brand new plans.
Hal it must become a brand new man. About town.
New programming must be installed into Hal.
God, I hate. Where are the bad guys? Oh, there he is. What the fuck?
He's inside the porta potty.
Did I just clip him through the porta potty?
Oh man, you can't disturb him while he's taking a dump.
Oh my god, I glitched him into the porta potty. He's stuck. Oh god.
You got him.
The negative shockwave! My negativity made him come up with the crapper!
Oh my god.
Power of negative thinking.
There's an episode title if we had an episode going.
Fair. Air yank. Really good move, actually. But negative. But anyway. Let's see. Next level. Spider-Ham. He's pig in the Spider-Ham. Where is he? He's a pig. Oh, why is he disgusted? Look out. Here comes Spider-Ham. Delicious.
Delicious, delicious Spider-Ham.
Yeah. Excuse me. Time to do more. Time to help Doc Ock with stuff. I wonder how this could go wrong. I am now Peter Parker, crime scientist. I solve crime in a lab coat.
What are we, scrubs?
I can't do it all on
AJ Sims says, common
own.
question. What's your opinion on the company Valiant and their publications?
Oh, Valiant? Now, Valiant has been recently bought up by a Chinese company of some sort to possibly adapt their stuff into movies. But at the time of this video, so far Valiant has been putting out some pretty solid stuff for a number of years. I personally recommend Exo Man of War, Quantum Woody, Harbinger, Ninjak. Some of their crossovers are really good. The Valiant in particular is a really standout one. Bloodshot Reborn is also really good. Genuinely, Valiant, all sorts of good stuff if you want to find really interesting comics. Especially if you're interested in independent superheroes outside Marvel and DC.
Our first volunteer subject, Lance Corporal Texidor.
Oh.
Lost his arm overseas and now just
Is
wants
he
to
a
hug his
character?
daughter again.
Not that I know of, actually, so he may be a character or may not. But, you know, at least not associated with Dr. Octopus. To be fair, sometimes there's something so obscure even I don't realize it's there.
Where'd you get all this equipment?
Wait, did they stump Dave?
They might have.
Impossible.
It's impossible.
Whenever I say impossible, I just want, like, an image of that Getter Robo meme.
Impossible.
Where it's, like, impossible, and the 1970s Getter Robo forms.
Get Robo.
You've been busy.
Just getting
Yeah.
started.
You know, I have such a soft spot for the classical, like, comic book stuff where it's just, like, a scientist does something crazy and awesome superhero stuff happens. Because that's what so much of these old, like, superheroes were, and even, like, mangas.
Yeah.
It's just, like, science happened and then cool things.
Yeah, Doc Ock, let's do science. This is heartbreaking. For some reason, this is heartbreaking. Anyway.
Oh, well, you're seeing Otto Octavius being a good man.
And Peter just
driven to madness by his many, many arms.
In all seriousness, the last section of this is probably some of my favorite Spider. In all seriousness, this game is probably one of the best Spider-Man stories out there, and their handling of Doc Ock is some of my favorite stuff in this game.
He's losing it.
Yeah.
Well, I know who you're not voting for in the next election. Sorry. I have a habit of making bad jokes in tense situations.
Yeah. You have a habit of making bad jokes, like Spider-Man.
No, don't worry.
Sorry for that soda popping noise, but I need.
Dave likes his soda.
For another test.
No, like I'm feeling it. Like,
well,
you can see he's trying so hard.
Well,
and he wants to do this good thing, and he's so frustrated by the people who are thwarting him.
Yeah. Well, the thing with this one is it kind of. Here's the thing. One of the things I like about this is that there's a very subtle father figure stuff with this. I really like what they do with this one. Even
Octopus and a spider.
Both have 8 legs.
In grad school,
But, you know, until then.
add corp to that, and well, it is a catchy name.
Well, why'd you leave?
Norman became more and more obsessed with genetics. He started a project I considered unethical.
You know, he thought about turning into a goblin man and blowing up the city.
He read too much Tolkien. He wanted to be a goblin.
I chose to leave.
No. That was Carl Lycos, who named himself Sauron.
Grants ever since.
The X-Men villain who's a pterodactyl man named Sauron.
You can't see the look on Hal's face right now, but he's baffled. Because for a long time he assumed that Sauron the pterodactyl was simply a pterodactyl.
No, he's actually a mutant energy vampire dude.
Shut up. No. No. No.
I know. You have to accept this, Hal. As your true god.
Man, there's some comic ideas that are just like so goofy and out there, and like they're a cool idea, but they definitely need a second pass.
Oh, I agree. But, you know, it is what it is.
Professor Dragonite says, the mutant pterodactyl never nude energy vampire with hypnosis powers.
That is kind of what he is.
Apparently accurate.
Because he only ever wears just, like, broken up pants.
I mean, I should know. I follow my own weird nerd stuff, so...
Alrighty, now we gotta get the math.
Wait.
Now I gotta get the math right, which is the
Your
thing.
actual voltage was only 3 when you did that.
And I solved it.
You have the power! Man, He-Man seems downright tame compared to some of the stuff we've come up with.
Yeah, it's true. I created Super Fisto. He's like Fisto, but only he can stick 2 hands up your butt.
Duh.
To be fair, they named the character Fisto. There's only so many ways you can make a character work like that.
I think we did it.
What I want to know is how Octavius expects to control this arm with DualShock 4 controller rather than the cybernetic connection to a human body.
Doc Ock is a huge Sony fanboy, but unfortunately Dr. Octopus had to make the biggest sacrifice. He had to use Joy-Cons instead.
Oh no.
He had to
Those
sacrifice...
things are only meant for tiny Japanese children hands.
Yeah. But secretly, Dr. Octopus has tiny Japanese children hands. It's his greatest, darkest secret.
Yeah. Well, you know, they're doing a really good job here with Octavius. And they're playing to the same strengths that he had in Spider-Man 2. Where he becomes a really human character before he becomes a supervillain.
Oh man, I missed this.
Black Beladenka says, any thoughts on the Italian Fantastic Four movie? Low budget AF, but has a lot of charm.
Are you talking
What?
about the Roger Corman movie?
Is this a thing, Dave?
Yes, it's a real thing.
Oh my.
Like, fun movie. I feel sorry for the people who made it because they really thought they were going to be something after that. Unfortunately. No offense, it's one of those things. I'm just doing this because we get experience for it.
Uh-huh.
And science tokens!
Looks like another potential prosthetic contact material.
So, let's see. I am Peter Bucker. I do science. No one must know.
My name is Peter Parker.
I am science man.
I am made of science.
I have destroyed
Spider blood. Radioactive
Active
spider
spider
blood.
blood.
We need Spider-Man the opera. Make it so.
There is the Spider-Man musical, but we shall not talk
No,
about
I don't want to turn off the dark.
Ah, God. I really wish I could see the original version of that because it is
That'd be a great tissue.
quite the trek if everything is to be believed.
What is Doc
Wow.
working on with this?
Yeah. Okay, this is the fun bit. So, the whole gimmick of this one is now we have minus strips. So, we gotta minus them. Because science. What has science wrought?
Oh, yeah, okay, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, basically.
That's neat.
It's fun.
Hal appreciates a good logic puzzle.
Is it logic? Is it logic that I don't know how to love? Is it logic that I...
Love is very illogical.
Love is a battle. Oh, okay, I should have done that better. Okay.
No. Let's
Hold
see.
it. I got it.
I think I might see the answer, but let's see if you got this. Yep. I see what the answer is. No.
Alrighty.
Third one.
This one?
Third one down.
I already used that one, though.
You already used that one?
Yeah.
Oh, because I was going to say, that one lines up with the negatory strips on the bottom.
Hold it.
If Hal's good at one thing, it's pattern recognition.
Great conductivity.
AJ Shimas.
Sure about long-term wear and tear, though. Might delaminate easily.
Comic question. Why is ethochloride pesticide Spider-Man's kryptonite?
That's not really a thing. Some stories use it. But the idea is that it's bug spray, so Spider-Man is weak to bug spray. Get it? Get it? I don't think you guys have got it. Don't you get it?
We must spray the Spider-Man.
We gotta spray
Yes.
the Spider-Man.
We will go spray him now.
He is sprayed and flayed. In all seriousness, that's not used in most any story I found for Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
In all seriousness, it's one of those things that, because they bring it up in Death Battle once, they think it's like a major part of the mythos.
Oh, yeah, well, Death Battle loves to bring up things.
They do, but it's such a minor thing in comics and all that I really don't consider it like too huge a deal. It's look. If you guys want to be like, yo, man, this is the truth of the matter. I'm not gonna disagree with you, but I'm going there.
Well, like Superman is the only character who really needs kryptonite in that sense.
Superman actually does have kind of a workable metaphor with kryptonite, though, admittedly, because it's basically the old country destroying him.
Yeah. Well, because Superman is by and large, more invincible than any other superhero character.
I am Superman, and I'm invincible. Look at my teeth. I
have perfect teeth. Superman's ultimate power. Perfect teeth.
His perfect, like, teeth smile.
For eating a well-rounded meal of fruits and vegetables.
Okay. Let's figure this out. Okay. So... Bam. Now this works here. Then I gotta figure out. Boom. And God damn it.
Don't believe in yourself. Believe in me. Believe in the me that believes in you, Dave.
Shut up, Hal. Anyway, okay, so let's see. Okay, got that bit. And now I think I got this bit here. Maybe? No?
Professor Dragonite says, Superman, I can only shave using my own powers. Nothing else will work.
It's true.
Heat vision shaving.
Not unreasonable.
So that's in the comics too?
Not in general. It really depends. Oftentimes, in the 80s, they tried to establish Superman's invincibility coming from a force field he projects around himself, kind of like psychically. In fact, there was an entire subplot where it was going to be revealed that Superman's powers were all psychic in nature in some way.
Okay.
Basically, force field, the way he actually was flying was that he was literally telekinetically lifting himself up.
Uh-huh.
And there was actually like a little bit of story, but it never really paid off back in the 90s because I feel like they felt that would have been too far off. But there's kind of like a little telekinetic aspect to Superman that stories don't use anymore.
Do you have to fill in every block in this puzzle?
Yes, to solve it.
Okay.
So I think
because I was thinking this puzzle through and I came up with a solution that did not use every block.
Yeah, no. Well, you have to.
Alright.
Let's see.
Captain Brickstars says, Hey, Captain Brickstars, welcome to the chat. If you're new here, we're going to give you the regular introduction. Try to stump Dave on his comic book trivia. He has vast knowledge.
Stupid vast knowledge.
It's stupidly vast. Right now, we're in the middle of a match the pattern puzzle in Spider-Man on PlayStation 4.
Will I solve it? Fuck, I don't want to solve it, but I'm doing it.
Yeah, a little bit of downtime. I imagine this puzzle is much easier to solve when you're not pressured to live stream.
It's true.
Okay, so you have one error in that.
Alrighty. So let's see what's removed. Hopefully.
Well, yeah, you can't double up on that stuff.
There.
But, yeah. I'm a little surprised we got stuck on this one, but, hey. So far, it's been a pretty fantastic game. I like live streaming it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Although I'm, oh, are we gonna leave it?
I'm just trying to think about this one.
Wait, is this, like, critical to our progression, or...?
No, this is actually all side stuff, so...
Oh. Maybe we should move on.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
We got 200 experience.
We're not smart enough to solve this.
In all seriousness, I will...
I would love to progress the story, honestly, because I know there's a lot of side quests and a lot of interesting things we can do in this game, but I would really love to make it through the story so that the Space Cadets can see all the cool stuff in the main story of the game.
Now, I want to make it through the main story myself, so... Oh, sweet. We got a bunch of XP. Did we level up?
Johnny McJim thinks we could have done that. It looked pretty simple.
I think we could have probably done it.
I think we could have done it too if we weren't on live stream and pressured to think about 10,000 other things besides the game.
Oh, this costume.
Hey. Stealth big time suit.
Yep, this one is pretty freaking sweet. And it's green, which is a different color choice than usual. We also have this little blue number that we don't have.
Fear itself.
Yep. This is the
fancy.
Asgardian armor.
That's pretty neat. It kind of reminds me of the negative suit with the way the colors go.
Yeah. Anyway.
Are you a frost spider?
I'm a frost spider. This one I do want to unlock just because I like the look of it.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this, Space Cadets, like, you may think you're good at video games, but when you put yourself on, like, a YouTube channel or a live stream and you're trying to think about what you're trying to say at the same time as when you're playing, suddenly it gets a lot more complicated.
Alright, guys, and once again, we're going to do Pick the Costumes.
That's right. Alright, chat.
So,
vote on which costume you want us to wear for the next part of gameplay.
Yep. I'm just going to scroll through them until we choose one. Do 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 do.
The chat will pick the costume.
Okay, but until then, I'll upgrade skills. Because we got skills, boy. But.
Let's see. AJ Shim votes for Brit Spider-Man. Renault Discordia says bottom edgy suit. Josh First says Spider Manar. Spider Noir. Spider Manar. Whatever.
Noir.
Spider Manar.
No. Alright.
So, what's the bottom edgy suit?
This
the
one.
Dark suit? Shall we do that?
Let's do dark suit.
Let's do the dark suit.
I was calling you about something else, but yeah, we should talk over dinner.
Yeah, we got the edge. Oh, we should talk over dinner.
Oh, you want to talk over dinner?
Oh, yeah.
Well, then you should learn how to feel my pain, Mary Jane.
God damn. This is getting a little real for Hal.
God, Mary Jane, why don't you listen to my pain?
I've been in the exact position as this, you know. My girlfriend didn't appreciate my spider powers.
Oh, wait. Now we're in mandatory side quest mode. Okay.
Mandatory side quest mode?
Yeah, the game wants us to tool around until it unlocks the next story bit. So.
Alright, tooling begins now.
I'm just going to see what we're going to do. We'll take on a couple... You know what? I feel like taking on a base. Mary Jane, you don't understand my base. I'm going to take on this base.
He's all about that bass.
All about the bass. All about that bass.
No treble.
No. But until...
I want something to do like a Mega Man animation of that. Where it's all about that bass, no treble.
Oh god, you horrible person, you.
I've been playing a lot of Mega Man lately because I'm kind of excited for Mega Man 11.
I'm gonna solve crime! Grittedly!
I have to tell you, Triple J, I used to think you were exaggerating the danger to the city, but...
Oh man, we were about to have a JJ podcast and then action happened.
Action. Action is his reward. Look it! Here comes... here, and I threw that man onto the building.
You saved his life.
I did. But this isn't good enough!
AJ Shim asks, have you guys played Batman, The Rise of Sin Tzu?
No, I've always wanted to play that one.
If not, he would be happy to supply the game.
You know what? I'd be up for it. Okay, so the problem with Rise of Sin Tzu is basically the villain is Ra's al Ghul.
Shocked are we?
I know, right? It's Ra's al Ghul designed by Jim Lee.
What?
Guess what I found?
Jim Lee, the famous X-Men artist who some people love and some people hate.
I'll introduce myself.
He's pretty good.
Oh, I like him. But some people view him as just a 90s dude. Hold it. Hold it. I don't want to be seen. We got stealth.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, recently we've not had a ton of time to do like Let's Plays and recordings. So the Spider-Man live streams have been our big thing we've been doing. So if we were going to do a Batman video game, it probably end up being one of the Arkham games.
Unfortunately, guys, I don't want to be a dick about it, but the Arkham games are pretty famous. So
the Arkham games are fantastic video games, and that's what I think is amazing. Is they were one of the great examples of meshing superhero continuity with video game design. And I don't think that Spider-Man would be here today in this game if it weren't for the Batman Arkham video games.
Okay, so I gotta web throw these guys. Hey, taste my negative!
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about this last time too, where I'm kind of surprised that we don't see. Wait, what?
I'm just adjusting suit power.
I saw the chibi Spider-Man. I loved it. Yeah, like superheroes are like such cool ideas, and it's kind of like in some ways it's a little surprising that they don't have much better video games. And at the same time, I can see why. Since when it comes to like video games, like you think about what makes like a classic video game, especially you go back in time to like when they were making much simpler games like Super Mario Brothers or Mega Man, and they have like a certain set of mechanics and rules that they follow that are wholly like game logic, and so trying to translate comic logic into game logic is not always the easiest thing. And you know, every now and then you get some really clever people like the people at Rocksteady who made the Batman Arkham games. And Batman works really well because he has limitations. And I think that's a major component.
Yeah, well,
like, people have trouble with Superman because he's so strong, and so they don't know where to place the limitations.
Well,
and so it's harder to make a game out of it.
I always felt that that might have been more of an excuse, if I'm being honest. But
I should have recorded. It's not that I'm not glad to see more of you. Oh no, wait. It is that I'm not glad to see more
Let's see, Joshua First says, actually people say it's the Batman Arkham games that took from the Spider-Man games, so the Batman games wouldn't be around it without the Spider-Man games.
I actually kind of do agree with that one a bit.
I guess, yeah, Spider-Man 2 came before that.
Yeah, a lot of, like, here's the thing. When I was playing the initial Arkham game, I thought, man, this could, if they did, like, some of the Spider-Man game mechanics, oh, sweet. Then, now I
love
don't...
the way he got webbed against the wall.
Now I can do what I want in this one, because now I actually have completed all the tasks. So we're going to get the max base tokens for this level.
Nice.
So that's going to be good. So that means it's easier to unlock stuff later.
Well, some of my teachers have said when we talk about game design that, you know, video games, or a game is a set of rules with win and lose conditions. And so I think that's why certain characters are harder than others to do, because some characters have like really defined abilities, and some are like just way too strong, and it's hard to come up with a good game out of it. And you know, the other problem with like licensed video games is a lot of times they're really rushed to make some kind of deadline corresponding with the debut of a movie. And that's why like this game is great, why like the Arkham games for Batman were great, because they weren't rushed out the door to, you know, be with a movie or something. Like, you even look at something like, what was it, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite? That game was rushed out the door so it could be out in time for Thor Ragnarok. And people don't really care for that game as a result.
Pretty much. Alright.
You know, so you just, like, so many games get hit with that.
MJ, call the police. I've got the place.
I've got a huge web ball of people.
Anytime we can get guns off the street, it's a win.
But man, you know, I just had like a thought of like, what if Spider-Man turned into like some cannibal monster thing? He just has this web ball of people he keeps eating.
So actually, here's a little weird movie if you guys ever want to watch something that's weirdly related.
Yeah.
So this first for a while, Dan Aykroyd's last acting role in a movie for a while. It was called a movie. It was a movie called Earth versus the Spider. And you might remember the 1950s movie, but there was a 1997 movie where it was part of a series of movies where the idea was they took a classic science fiction film and only used the name to make a new movie out of.
Mm-hmm.
So there was kind of interesting ideas. Some of those old movies ended up on Mystery Science Theater 3000. In the case of Earth vs. Spider, it can be seen as a weirdly horror version of Spider-Man, where it's about this comic book nerd who injects himself with an experimental spider serum and mutates into a monstrous spider and starts eating people. Yeah, I'm not kidding. That's an actual movie you guys can find. It's called Earth vs. the Spider, if you ever wanted to look it up.
Hal's trying to not choke on his drink right now with laughter.
It's kind of an awful movie, but it's kind of weirdly prescient in a way. Because since comic book movie tropes have been more explored in recent years, it comes off as making a little more sense in a way. And it kind of comes off as a weird effed up deconstruction of the Spider-Man mythos.
That there isn't anything else more secure. I mean, he's a 700-pound maniac with an indestructible
Rhino, oh god!
He's talking about the rhino.
He's asking why we don't have, like, police rhinos. Oh god, that entire rant was great. I love
police rhinos.
Yeah. If you ever want to see, like, a weird effed up horror movie version of Spider-Man, Earth vs. the Spider.
Hal and Dave play Spider-Man. Part whatever.
Or
indestructible rhinos. Police rhinos.
I want an indestructible police rhino. Da da da, I'm having fun.
Yeah. Joshua first cites the Thor video game, and AJ Shim mentions that Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is a tragedy. You know, I'm not up on my fighting games at all, so I couldn't tell you, but I have heard a lot of negativity regarding that game, so it sounds like it didn't go over very well.
Genuinely, a lot of people were ticked off by it.
I like the fact that Mega Man X is in it, but other than that, meh.
Well, there's no X-Men in it at all, so...
That's right, functions versus functions.
Peter.
MJ!
Yo,
baby, you look good enough to web up.
MJ, you want to go into our web bondage den?
She would be into that, wouldn't she?
There actually is canon evidence for it, but I'm not going to talk about it right now.
Yeah, we'll take this cutscene seriously.
Okay, now we're going to go through a stealth section. Our favorite thing. A forced stealth section. Where we know that Mary Jane survives.
Earlier that day.
This is the address.
This was the one that annoyed the hell out of me.
Prepare for annoyance, space cadets.
Yeah. Because this one's a...
Yeah. I mean, the relationship between Peter Parker and MJ in this game is kind of hitting home a lot for me right now. I was in a similar predicament not too long ago. And unfortunately for Hal, it didn't end well. But hopefully it will end better for our heroic Spider-Man and his red-headed love interest.
It's true. So this is where it introduces the stealth mechanics, and here's where annoying. This is the level where it's like if you
Raiden? What happened? Raiden? Raiden!
And this is the level where basically you screw up and you just get reset back constantly.
Yeah, that's yeah, okay, so what's really funny is that this is such a complicated game when you're playing as Spider-Man, and there's so many things you can do. And then when you go into these sections right here, it's really just such a black and white game. It's like either you're stealth or not stealth.
And it's not that amazing, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, like this is like basic stealth that we would have seen more than a decade ago. And it's a very stark contrast to the rest of the game.
It's not the worst thing ever, but it's not that great, if I'm being honest. Especially because, let me put it this way, I'm like, it's like this. I'm only sneaking around doing stuff. I'm not really doing anything cool. And now I'm going to do that. And oh,
Yeah,
dang it!
definitely.
I forgot.
That.
And this is why I don't.
Snake.
And this is kind of why I don't like these missions. Is that there's a lot of like just don't screw this bit up, and then it's like you screwed it up, you fail, and I'm like. Because at least in Spider-Man, they give the option of having the stealth sections just be, you know, done.
I mean, I already stated my theory of gameplay here, that when they take you out of gameplay, it kind of suffers. But yeah, this is very simple. Like, I think of Uncharted, which... Like, I've only played up to Uncharted 3, so I can't speak of Uncharted 4, but that series generally had fairly simple stealth mechanics. And it was kind of like, either like, you're caught or you're not caught. But fortunately those games had pretty solid gunplay, which let you get out of the caught situations.
That's kind of the big issue I have overall with this section. Especially because, here's the thing. The Spider-Man powers are kind of fun to mess with in stealth mode. In this section, it's just like... I don't have a lot, so it's...
Well, that's what I think. Like, the Metal Gear Solid series got better and better over time, as they actually allowed you a lot more violent options. Because, you know, you're supposed to stealth, yeah, but... should you fail, then you end up having to fight your way out of a situation.
Yeah.
And I think the series actually got a lot better when they gave you a lot more options to fight. So that rather than stealth failure being a game over, it was just a new opportunity for gameplay. Who is this guy?
Tombstone! He is one of the best bosses in this entire fucking game. And I love him. Unironically. Tombstone gets all the love here tonight. God, you.
Oh man, who voices Tombstone?
I think Kevin Michael Richardson.
Yes,
I think because it sounds like him. You got some stones, Rick.
Let's see if they break.
All right, I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah, do it. Tombstone's always been one of those villains who I thought needed a lot more love.
The bullet bounced off his forehead.
Yep.
Wait, is Tombstone, like, indestructible?
Yeah, dude, he's a brick house. He's mate. Just letting it all hang out. Comment, I have a love of Tombstone here. Great villain. Enjoyable. Trying to be a big boss.
Now I need a new welder.
But I love Tombstone in this game for one reason. He just wants a good fight with Spider-Man. He kind of comes off as like a classic shonen villain. Who's just like...
He's in it for the fight.
Can you feel the Tombstone tonight? It is the best pizza. And now I can go through here.
Blueprints. An APC. This is what they're building for Lee. Why does he need an armored vehicle?
I think after this bit, I can finally get out of here.
GPS trackers.
Which is what I want to do because...
using these for?
All right, boys. Time to move. Get the gear from my office.
Time to go.
Yes! I did it, and I only died twice. It's better than the last time I did this where I died 8 times. Alright, I'm just going to let this scene play out without my commentary here, because this is one of the cutest and funniest scenes in the game.
Nice. Thanks.
You know Tombstone is crazy and pretty much invincible, right?
Everybody has their weakness. Mine is... whatever you're cooking right now. It smells amazing.
The chicken curry. Just needs some time to simmer.
No dumplings, I hope.
You're never gonna let me live that one down, are you?
Nope.
The Great Dumpling
Oh,
Catastrophe.
I still can't believe they evacuated the entire building.
I know, and in January, too. Your neighbors hated me.
Yeah, they were pretty happy when we broke up.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about what you found in Lee's office.
Well, Lee clearly has issues with Norman Osborn.
Yeah, but why?
I don't know yet. But his next move looks like it involves Devil's Breath, whatever that is.
Yeah. I'll dig into it. So I was thinking, what if we teamed up?
If you know what I mean.
You want to be
Oh
my
my.
sidekick? Like a spider girl? Spider woman?
No.
Woman.
No, not a sidekick. A partner.
Oh. Not again.
I forgot about the curry.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Hey, it's your crime system.
That's
thingy.
real.
Looks like a residential break-in.
By the way,
Yeah.
Charles Standish.
look at some of these actors right here.
Okay.
we pulled up the IMDb page for the people. So the actress that plays May Parker.
Hold it.
Huh?
Sorry to cook and run.
Did you just leave your clothes on the kitchen floor?
I want to do this as I hope there's a new Game Plus mode where you're gonna have access to all your costumes, and I want to do this while in the underwear Spider-Man mode because that would be funny.
You know, that would be. Alright, so if you ever look up the IMDb page for the for this game, so Nancy Lenari, who plays Aunt May, the character model was clearly modeled after this actress. Same thing with Mr. Negative or Martin Lee. Let's see.
Hey, it's me.
This curry is legit.
So what do we know about Charles Standish?
Oh yeah, Miles Morales Najee Jeter is the actor who plays Miles, and yeah, looks like his actor as well. So they are definitely doing that thing where the actor that portrays them was used as the model for the character models in the game.
Yep, not surprised.
That's awesome. Alright, so we were looking for Tombstone. Josh Keaton played Electro.
Yeah.
But wait, Josh Keaton was Spider-Man in Ultimate, or Spectacular Spider-Man.
Believe it or not, before that he voiced Harry Osborn in the game as well.
Wow.
And he's also Norman Osborn on the recent Spider-Man cartoon of all things.
Fred Tatasciore as the Rhino. Yep, he's good at voicing like really deep, beastly characters.
He's kind of been like the one of the main Rhino voice actors for a while. No,
hasn't he been the Hulk for a long time in a lot of cartoons?
Yes, he's often used as the main voice of the Hulk. He's kind of like the Kevin Conroy Hulk. Like what I mean by Kevin Conroy is that he's considered like as close to the definitive.
Oh hey, Savannah Rhodes. Peter Parker looks old. Hey, he's only what, 23?
Yes.
He's only 23.
Spider-Man. But until then, Spider-Man has to solve crime with his fist.
My fist plus your face equals negative crime.
Sweet. Sweet. I now have like 3 bars for focus. The best type of power.
Savannah says, "Hey Hal, serious question. How do y'all not get dizzy playing this?"
Magic.
We're just awesome that way. Well, as an AI, I do not get dizzy. That is a human concern.
In all seriousness, I've just learned to.
I'm loving the voice cast on this. Dwight Schultz as the Vulture, Scott Porter as Harry Osborn, Stan Lee as the Short Order Cook.
Stan Lee will always be there. He's in our hearts and in our minds.
Let's see who else we got in here. Well, we're in the additional voices section, and there's a lot of you know, pretty solid people down here in the additional voices section too.
Let's see.
Eric Bauza.
You're hurt.
You got shot!
Isaac C. Singleton Jr.
Those guys in the masks kidnapped him and forced him up to his place. He lives in the penthouse.
Oh god.
Okay, sit tight.
Lots of talented people. I mean, Matt Mercer. Fuck you, Matt Mercer. You're awesome. Fuck you. In a good way.
You want to fuck Matthew? I always knew you wanted to fuck Matthew Mercer, but I didn't know you'd be so upfront about it.
It's a very personal vendetta.
I get it. I get it. I know the joke, but I'm not gonna say it on stream. Hey, die! For Spider-Man in my darkness!
Stephanie Sheh.
So, here's the funny part.
All
so,
right.
the person who voice acts Yuri in this one is actually Yuri Lowenthal's wife. And Yuri Lowenthal in this voice is Spider-Man. So, Yuri has to call his wife Yuri.
Yuri? 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 You just say Yuri and they both say yes?
Yes. Pretty much.
I love playing Spot the voice actor. And, you know, some of my friends are into it. And we all have different voice actors that we know and love. And then we got a few friends who are just all about their subtitled anime, and well, we can't help them.
Yeah, we're calling you out, friends.
Especially not something like this that was never originally in Japanese. So. Johnny McJim says his wife is a Soviet. What? Oh well.
I don't understand what Johnny McJim was going for.
I don't understand, but I'm sure it's important.
We'll one day understand.
In the future, we'll understand.
Not
now.
Good fight. A for effort.
Well, everybody's dead. I killed them! I solved crime!
Spider-Man realizes the solution to crime is killing them?
Yes. He is now the punished Spider-Man.
Punished Spider-Man. Man, if they ever do like a Metal Gear Solid thing where there's like a ton of different Spider-Men.
Oh, dang it, I forgot about this bit.
Solid Spider, Liquid Spider, Naked Spider. AJ Shim says that Yuri is also a Korean name. It means queen. According to our chat, Yuri can be a Russian, Korean, or Japanese name.
Yes.
I've heard that. That sounds about right.
Makes sense.
In Yuri Lowenthal's case, it seems to be probably of Russian descent.
Because if it's male, it's often a Russian male name. Because I remember Planetes had a major character named Yuri in that, which is a good anime. That's a fun anime.
Well, isn't the Command and Conquer? There's a character named Yuri who's a major antagonist, I believe.
I am Yuri, and not the kite boy you like where girls do.
You know, Princess Luna probably knows that. I remember him playing that.
Stay out of the light.
Stay out of the light. Embrace the darkness. Embrace the darkness, fool.
No, you're supposed to turn out the dark. Turn off the dark.
No.
Spider-Man.
I am Spider-Man and I am the darkness. I am Venom. I mean, yes, I am Venom.
We are Venom.
Hey, you wanna get? And now
I'm just concerned that these, we're leaving these guys strung up and these elevators come down and just, like, shave them off.
I like the look of their blood.
You really do. What? Physics.
Physics is fun. But I'll take care of you. Now, stay here.
Good night, sweet prince.
Good night. You don't deserve.
Careful.
Now.
Tall building. Firebombs? Seriously?
The darkness has started to use fire. I hate this bit because this one's a little bit hectic.
Do you have safe zones at each of those pillars?
Not really that I found. I haven't found them consistently, but if you just do that, you can get through it.
Yeah, you move quickly.
Now, time to show them my darkness. Darkness! Oh.
There's Standish.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we might... What?
Now what?
He's a comic book artist we hired to draw cool things for us.
Yeah, he designed all our masks and costumes. He even came up with the name Mr. Negative. We dig that.
AJ Sim says, good Venom impression? Alright, yeah.
We are Venom.
We are Venom.
Oh, this looks like a good classy place to go around stealthing people.
It is.
Yeah, just climb up that wall, man.
Nah, I want to find a spire. Because I
Okay.
gotta see things. And? Set that up.
Savannah Road says, those villains look like luchadors.
They kinda do.
Maybe. We're still fighting the demons, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so they're actually Asian-inspired. You know, this seems like a perfect time to get real political, right?
No.
Oh. I was gonna say, some people would consider that cultural appropriation, and I'm just like, man, it's just cool.
There was this one comic book critic who made me really not like them for saying, alright, so let me put it this way.
I hate those arguments.
Well,
I'm like, if everything's cultural appropriation, I literally could not have ordered pizza for us tonight. I could not have ordered Chinese food. I could not have... You know.
Let me put it this way. The unfortunate problem is a lot of, like...
Literally didn't see that coming.
Let me put it this way. Most of every culture is based on cultural appropriation of some kind. It's the truth of the matter.
Yeah, well, it's only recently that people actually give a damn about that. And really, for poorly informed reasons.
Hey, now you're this stuck there.
I mean, you're culturally appropriating the spider's natural webbing abilities.
I am, and I'm so happy
You
I'm
stole
doing
that from a spider. Those belong to radioactive spiders, not to you, Spider-Man.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody
Savannah says, the fine line between appropriation and appreciation, I guess. I mean, I would almost argue they're one and the same. Wait, can you get both of them?
Possibly. But I'm going to try and draw one over.
Nice. I mean, I would almost argue that they're like one and the same, that, You're right in front of him! Well, he's knocked out. But yeah, like, you know, this whole idea, like, we're wrongfully appropriating culture when we're actually, like, appreciating it. I definitely agree with that. You know, especially as someone who grew up with, like, watching anime, and you get a lot of Japanese culture in there, and you just appreciate it, and you think it's, like, it's very cool, and it's beautiful, and it's something you hadn't really seen before. You know, and then you start to incorporate that into yourself, and it's like, that's not... It's not a negative thing that you're adopting it.
Oh, God. This is supposed to be the introduction of the sword dudes. And this is supposed to be like a bit of
I love it. He's super anime.
And I took him out in one shot. Again.
Oh, let's see. Savannah asks, is there significance to Spider-Man's suit? Black Widow Spider? So there's a lot of suits in this game, and you are able to unlock them by fulfilling different missions.
So let me actually explain this costume, because I think I know why it's in this game and why it looks like this.
Yeah?
This is basically their attempt to do a symbiote costume without doing the symbiote costume. Because here's the clue about that one. You see, the symbiote costume in Spider-Man was initially just that. They used it, and they got rid of it. But a lot of people liked the black and white costume, so they had Black Cat make one for him.
Yeah.
Because she thought it was sexier.
Black Cat thought it was sexy, yeah.
So she gave it to her boyfriend as a sexy costume.
Her boyfriend, Peter Parker?
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Her boyfriend, Spider-Man, who is not Peter Parker.
Yes! Because she hates Peter Parker and loves Spider-Man.
Peter Parker is lame, but Spider-Man, oh my.
Yeah. So, and in this game, you get this costume by doing it. No, by beating all the Black Cat missions, and she gives it to you. I gotta admit, doing this walking like this, just...
AJ Sims says, "Hey Hal, you know what I have to say to cultural appropriation? Korean burritos."
Korean burritos.
That's great. See, that's what I think is that, you know, if there's something in another culture that's good or works or tastes good, you know, why not adopt it?
If stuff works, it works.
I mean, that's just like evolution right there. Is like you see something that works and you use it to your advantage.
Well, here's the thing. An important part of cultural adopting aspect about other cultures too is learning about them and accepting them. Hell, with diplomacy, a lot of it is like learning about cultures and partaking.
Someone's trying to silence Mr. Man-Bun.
But you know, it's complex. But we're not here to talk about now. We are here to go down a fiery elevator shaft.
We are here to save Mr. Man-Bun.
I will save you with my darkness.
Almost got him.
Darkness.
Try to fall slower.
Oh man. Suspicious Pie says, in order for a culture to be appropriated, it first has to be owned.
Yeah.
The problem with this is culture is porous, with ideas traveling between communities since the dawn of civilizations. And you know, I know his background, and he is very correct that the issues that people have these days with cultural appropriation is very poorly informed, because cultures have been cross-pollinating for millennia.
Dude.
And it's only today that people are at all concerned.
Why do you think I'm not mad that you are eating my bagels? Why aren't you, like, accepting the bagels?
Bagels are delicious.
Bagels are delicious. God. This costume...
Johnny McJim says, with hair like that, you should let Man Bun fall.
Yeah. I hate the look of man buns. They look awful.
You know, I knew someone, she thought that man buns were cute or something, and I was just like, really?
Because
really?
They look so dorky. Unless it's like a samurai type thing, because then they can look cool.
Well, then you have honor.
Then you have honor.
Speaking of stereotypes.
God. Yay, I got XP.
I mean, the fortunate thing about hairstyles is that they are easily rectified.
They were looking for a name. You got a pen?
Either you undo whatever it was, or you just snip, snip, and boom, saved your hairstyle.
Alrighty, let's just get my skill done.
Johnny McJim mentions that the samurai hairstyle is called a top knot.
Oh, top knot, yeah. That one, top knot's so cool. Genuinely, but yeah, I'm not a fan of man buns that generally look, just because they look kind of...
Well, it's kind of like the hipster style, and we're not really that. We are not hipsters.
We are so not hipsters. Let's see, can I... I'll unlock that. This is not too bad to have. Can I get this one? I need challenge tokens.
Personally, I don't really consider myself the most fashionable person, so my hair I just kind of let grow for a period of time until I end up getting it cut after it gets too long.
Let's see. But now we are in tooling around mode, it seems.
So we actually have to complete side quests in order to progress the story?
Yep.
Okay, because we've seen the Shocker and we've seen Mr. Negative, but we haven't really seen any other supervillains, right?
Believe it or not, we do get access to one. We got the Tombstone missions.
Okay, well I was gonna say that I feel like we're still like in the first, I want to say third of the game right now.
Yes.
And like I'm very much hoping that we can make some solid progress.
I'm going to do my best here. I'm going to complete a couple things just to get them out of the way.
I know the time's been flying by.
It's been flying by like crazy. Oh, God, no, I'm doing this one. Because then it gives me a chance to talk about one of my least favorite characters in comics.
Oh boy, it's on now.
I'm going to talk about the villain, Screwball! I'm gonna do this.
He's in an elevator.
Alright, so let's talk about the villains. So, the next villain is not too hard. The side mission's pretty dang easy in my opinion. But we're gonna do it just because... I'm Spider-Man.
Oh, okay, so this is Octavius kind of, like, going beyond. Plus Ultra!
Yes.
Well, like... Yeah, so he's thinking, instead of replacing the limb, we make it better. This is what's going to lead to his octopus arms.
Alright.
Internet famous.
You'll see.
Oh, just like us.
So you're gonna do it? The Screwball challenge?
So let's talk about the villain Screwball. She's a very recent character, and I can say that
she's Screwball?
No, she's not Screwball.
Okay, good.
We're gonna talk about her, but she... Alright, Screwball is kind of one of those characters who has...
Scan the QR code. Please send us a survey. Tell us how we are doing. I have to do that at work all the time.
So, the whole idea with Screwball is that she wants to be YouTube famous. And,
just like us.
And guess what? You wanna know how she wants to do it? By doing parkour against a superhero who has that as a power.
Oh, excellent.
Literally.
This is a well thought out plan. It will work.
She's kind of lame, if I'm being honest.
There's no way this could fail. Not against Spider-Man.
Yeah, she is not that great. In all seriousness, she's kind of annoying.
I feel like there was a point where they transitioned from like the funny, campy characters of like decades past to being just kind of lame modern characters.
There's a lot of that. Excuse me, I gotta take this.
Because they don't want to make the campy characters from the past that were so much fun.
I gotta do this.
You gotta go photograph the QR code.
Yeah, but I gotta photograph it right.
You gotta photograph it mid-flight.
No, I don't have to do that, but I do.
We're just gonna stand up here. Ding. Ding. Jump up on the ledge.
That might be a good idea.
Can you like L3? Yeah. No?
I had it.
Burbs. Got it.
Yep. Oh, and then I have to I'm not gonna worry about that.
AJ Shim asks, what do you guys think of Telltale closing their doors?
Sad, if I'm being honest.
I'm saddened. I've played part 1 of Telltale Batman and watched a Let's Play of part 2, and I thought it was great, and it's actually something I would love to do on our channel at some point.
Telltale actually has a lot of potential, had a lot of potential as a developer. I think they were also starting to really improve their stuff, but I imagine I kind of figured out why they were about to go out of business.
Yeah.
Probably, like, how many licenses they were taking on. They had to.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because they were taking on so many damn licenses at a certain point. And here's the thing.
It was a double-edged sword because licenses would theoretically help them to sell, but at the same time, they were also expensive.
Well, there's the big problem with the license stuff, too. And I'm not trying to say that it was the only issue. Is that they didn't have any of their own original properties that really could, like, propel them. And, you know.
Let's see. AJ Shim says, why are so many modern characters so boring?
Genuinely, because the big problem is with a lot of modern characters, I gotta do it, like, so I'm just gonna try.
I mean, while Dave thinks about this, I'm gonna suggest that, to me, I am a big fan of, like, classical heroism, and I think a lot of modern characters attempt to subvert that or deconstruct that in some way, and it ends up being a lot less classic, I guess. Like, it doesn't withstand the test of time. It only works in the moment.
Alright, let me tell you this.
I like the way you're this, like, stealth spider climbing the wall, by the way.
Yeah. A lot of the big problem is I don't think it has anything to do with subversion is the issue. I think a lot of people try and make characters just tropes and not make them characters.
Yeah.
My whole thing is that...
Oh, so you need to be a little bit to the right of that, don't you?
Yeah.
To get the full picture?
I'm gonna see.
Spider jump.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you got it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Savannah Rhodes says, I think some were mad, including me, that the Walking Dead games after Season 2 ceased to be converted to Mac compatibility. Mac capability. Yeah, okay, so, you know, that's actually kind of an ongoing issue, is, so I have a degree in video game design, right? So, I have a friend that I knew, who, for a long time, he had a Macintosh computer, and I kind of would poke him about that. How he was doing game design with the Macintosh. And, like, Macintosh computers don't really have the same kind of standardized parts that Windows computers do or PCs do. And that's why they tend to get left out of a lot of PC gaming.
Fair.
And it's only recently that they've started to catch up and they've started to have, like, Macintosh ports for those things.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing with a lot of games is if you do want a game on your PC, you're going to have a PC. You will not have a Macintosh. And that's kind of up to both, like, Macintosh to develop the PCs that will work for that, and then also for the developers who are willing to port it over.
Hold on. I'm gonna rip the door down.
Alright. So then...
Because I remember, like, hey,
and
what?
This is Screwball.
You're Screwball?
Yep. She was the kidnapped victim herself all along.
Yeah, so it was Screwball.
Yep.
Screwball.
I know, right? You should see the...
Like I said, I kinda don't
creeping,
like...
moving eye hole thingies.
I really don't like her that much.
She is the most millennial character. I don't know. I guess we're millennials too, but like, there's so many of like these like millennial or like we were looking it up on an episode of our Chrono Trigger Let's Play, where it was like the iGen or something or Generation Z, or like the kids these days with their social media, and it's like, man, everything just to get those social media hits or something.
Yeah.
Like that's what she reminds me of right now.
She's just not that fun in my opinion.
And I'm like, there's no integrity to the character. It's all the most like superfluous, superficial. Like I want to get views. I want to be popular.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm dealing with that with certain younger members of my family right now, so it hits home.
If I'm gonna be honest, one of the big problems I have with a character like her is that she doesn't even have the depth of like some of the better C-list Spider-Man characters.
Savannah Rhodes shouts out, "Clickbait!" Yep, that's about right.
That's kind of why I don't like her as a character. She's kind of like that culture. And here's the thing, she's meant to not... She's a supervillain, so I'm not supposed to like her. But she's just not fun to deal with as a character for me. So she's one of my least favorite Spider-Man villains, and in my opinion, one of the worst ones I've seen. And there's been a lot of bad ones. Especially because there's been better examples of her type of character in comics.
Johnny McJim says, "Goddamn boomers hating on millennials like me." Hey, McJim. Boomers were our parents.
Yeah.
Gotta call about a suspicious-looking box on a rooftop in Hell's Kitchen. I could call in the bomb squad, but if it's just some kid's science project.
Yeah, I know. Budget crisis, yada yada.
All right, so this is the next bit.
But you know, I mean to make it less I don't know, less dire. Whatever. You know, I've totally got some of those cousins and relatives and such, younger relatives, who are like, we're sitting at the dinner table and we're trying to have like a good like family dinner or something, and they're the ones who are like staring straight down at their laps, and we know that like just below the table they're sitting there texting someone and not talking to us.
Well, yeah, of course.
And you know, that's the group that we're in, that like we're just old enough to know that that's you know, rude and bad conduct, and we're the ones who try to correct our younger cousins.
To be fair, it's one of those things that just like, it's different times. To be fair, fucking pigeon. I hate you, pigeon, but I'm gonna catch you because
Catch the pigeon.
Catch the pigeon. Catch the pigeon. I'm
Spider-Man. Pigeon Man.
And I caught the pigeon.
And now Spider-Man's just walking amongst the street folk.
Oh, Spider-Man, you're a prince. Just found for justice law.
I love these names. Is Sandra happy to see them back?
Let's see. Savannah Rose asks, how did she get her name? How did Screwball get her name?
It's just kind of like a weird... She's kind of like... it's kind of like a play on, like, her bouncing around. Because she can parkour anywhere, so she's a screwball.
Oh, okay.
Anyway. This is a random encounter you can find. Guess the Martin Lee's corrupted will ambush Spider-Man on sight, so...
Fight the corruption.
Yes.
It became Metroid Prime.
Screwball, like I said, she's... In tell you the truth, I think there's a better, funnier Spider-Man woman villain. The White Rabbit, I actually kind of enjoy. She's kind of like an early Harley Quinn because she was actually created before her.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? And her whole deal is that she just wants money and will do anything to get it to an extent, but she's kind of fun just because she'll do it in the most wacky way. Like, one time she held the city for 10 million quarters.
Wow. Nice.
And the whole thing is that they couldn't find that many quarters to give to her, so...
So the city was destroyed.
Well, the funny bit about it is that the whole thing is, involves her kidnapping the Gibbon and Grizzly, two former C-list supervillains, and holding them for ransom while they're trying to be superheroes.
Oh, wow.
And the mayor is just like, yeah, who cares about saving them?
Yeah, really.
That's not good for anybody. Hey, can we solve this peacefully if I brought you cupcakes?
So, it's just a fun... So I just kind of find her funny. And not...
Yeah, you know, I'm not a big fan of the post-Suicide Squad Harley Quinn depictions.
Yeah, she's just not that fun. Especially because I hate her being in the Suicide Squad myself. I don't think I mentioned this on stream. But okay, so here's the thing about Suicide Squad and why it works as a franchise. You're supposed to believe that anybody in the Suicide Squad can die at any moment. Because guess what? They're all C-list villains. They are the expendable ones. These guys aren't the Joker. They can die.
Well, didn't you say that every story arc a character would die?
Yes. In the comic, basically. And you didn't know who it'd be. Would it be one of the characters who you've been following for a while?
Yeah.
Or would it be, like, the new guy they just introduced? Or any number of things? Like,
yeah, I mean, obviously in the movie they did kill a character who they had on screen for all of 3 seconds in advance.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing with Suicide Squad, is that you kind of want to make people believe everybody can die. Our stream seems to be... Okay.
No, we're good.
Alright, we're still good? Okay.
We're alive. Our stream is still alive.
Anyway, so that's what I mean with the Suicide Squad, is that if you, as a franchise, you have to believe that anybody on the squad can die. It doesn't matter who, it should just be like, oh, the Penguin here. The Penguin's obviously not going to die, but what about the Javelin?
Yeah, no, you put a big name on the squad, you immediately know that they're fine.
Yeah. In fact, they even kind of lampshade that in the comic, where him not going on the mission and him just hacking into something. So, it's like...
They're like, oh, you're not putting yourself on the line.
Well, no, it's just like, well, you're done here. Go, get out of here. We don't need you anymore, Penguin. So that's kind of like the thing with Suicide Squad, is that it also was kind of a nice convenience. Okay, so this is actually something I wanted to do.
What are we doing here?
This is where we get our challenge token. So we're going to do a couple of these missions.
Weird.
Yeah, Suspicious Pie says, stream's a little shaky, seems to have fixed itself. You know, that's surprising. It's a little late in the night for a shaky stream right here.
Yeah, but it's been going fine for most of it.
Yeah, considering last time we did it, it was shaky earlier in the night.
Anyway. Okay, I'll do it.
AJ Shim says, right. So why have a popular character who no one wants dead?
Yeah.
No point.
Yeah, the Suicide Squad is supposed to be made up of characters you want.
These bombs aren't going to defuse themselves.
Well, because Harley Quinn was a original character for Batman the Animated Series, originally intended to be a one-off, as far as I could tell, and then... Wow. Nice. And then she was popular, and they chose to keep using her, and that's how she became, you know, a character, a recurring character.
Yep.
And so... But obviously she's, you know, she's kind of cute, she's kind of fun, she's kind of sexy. And so clearly that's where the marketing came in, and they were like, oh, we can use this character to go ahead and, you know, put her on her own into... spider swim.
Oh, fucking A.
You know, you can, like... They want to put her on her own and be like, oh, she doesn't need to be chained to the Joker in order to be cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of actually where they go wrong, because if you watch the episode of Batman the Animated Series Mad Love, which explores the background of Harley and the Joker, it shows the kind of like sick relationship that they have, the abusive relationship that they have, but that's what makes it interesting about her and her like dedication to the Madman.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree on that bit with her. It's not
and without the Joker, she's just, you know, a sassy character that they try to sell.
Which one is
Delaney? Like I said, I don't mind Harley Quinn. I just wish she was used better.
She's actually like a couple of people I know in that way, where they just try to be like, oh, I'm so sassy and so cool, but they don't actually have a substance underlying that. And without the Joker, then Harley Quinn does not have that substance underlying that.
Yeah, that's kind of the truth of the matter. Like, there's aspects I like about Harley Quinn, but I wish that she was used better, if I'm being honest. And that's kind of the truth of the matter.
Also, not the biggest fan of her Suicide Squad redesign.
No, I'm not either. Mostly because she just kind of looks generic to me in that design.
Her classic Harley Quinn costume really works, though.
I like it. It's
the whole Batman the Animated Series with the black and white.
Yeah.
Or not black and red.
But yeah, like I said, the thing that's kind of like one of the reasons why I was just again, I don't.
Suicide Squad was the most non-movie.
All right, let's see. I'm doing this mostly so I can unlock some costumes.
Gotta hurry and defuse those bombs.
So
yeah, all right. So Spider-Man's unlocking costumes as Black Spider-Man.
Yep.
But he's not the Black Spider-Man. He's the other Black Spider-Man.
Oh dang it! I forgot about.
Oh, you got ahead of the trigger.
I hate that part of the challenge.
There's so many things to grab. I don't know what to grab.
That's kind of one of the things I wish this game would be a little bit better
about.
It's
like the game is indexing all the different things that you can grab. And you just happen to be on the wrong index number.
Yep, it's true. But I'm just doing these missions just because I want to unlock stuff. And plus I want to actually do one of the boss fights that are connected to these.
Whoa. Joshua first says, well, wait until they make the Lesbian Road Trip TV series. Your interest will reimagine itself. AJ Sim says, ...
I don't.
You know, just speaking personally, it was many years ago. I was at an anime convention, and someone asked a question about Yuri, and so the person who was hosting the panel said that the reason why he doesn't care for Yuri is because that if two girls are kissing each other, then no one's kissing me.
That's fair.
And I kind of feel the same way. That I don't really have an interest in watching girls together with each other, so sorry.
I'll take this on.
Just so.
Take me.
Let's see. Savannah asks, Hal, what do you think of the new Spider-Man movie coming soon? Spider-Man Homecoming Part 2?
Let's see. All right.
That's a thing?
It's called Spider-Man Coming Home.
Spider-Man Revengeance.
All right, I'm gonna try and do a couple more of these, and hopefully.
Well, you know, I thought Spider-Man Homecoming was good. Okay, so in terms of Spider-Man movies, I think that the original, like, Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, Spider-Man 1 and 2, I think they're both really fun, really fantastic films, and really capture the spirit of Spider-Man. And while I think that Spider-Man Homecoming was very good, I think it was just shy of what those original Spider-Man films did. You know, discounting Spider-Man 3, I think that one kind of got off the rails.
Yeah, it's true. Spider-Man 1 and 2, I still think are very fun movies. Hell, I watch them in tandem usually.
Yeah, Dave, you're a super Spider-Man fan. What's your favorite Spider-Man movie?
Spider-Man 2 is probably the best.
I am completely with you. I'm 100% with you.
The best Spider-Man experience, if you want like a good story, is probably Spectacular Spider-Man. There's a really good Blu-ray edition you can find very easily right now of it too.
Oh no. Okay, Savannah says no, the one that has multiple Spider-Man. Oh, Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
The CG one with Miles Morales.
Let me put it this way. It seems overstuffed at the moment, looking at the merchandising and characters they have. Because initially it was sold as a Miles Morales movie, but now it's like this whole Universal Spider-Man thing. So to me, it looks like it's gonna look like a Miles movie, but it's actually like this stupidly huge Spider-Man thing, and that could be fun. I'm just, you know. All right, so
yeah, you know, Dave knows a lot more Spider-Man than I do. So, like, so far at least, like, the CG looks kind of fun. I think the character designs are pretty good. So we'll have to see how it looks. Because I'm not opposed to the idea of multiple characters being Spider-Man. Like, I'm a huge fan of, like, you know, in video games, Mega Man, and there has been a dozen characters who have been titled Mega Man over time, and sometimes they do it really well, and you know, other times it's meh. So I definitely think that applies here too, where if you can give multiple characters that title, maybe they can all stand out in their own way. Do the thing!
Do the thing, do the thing, do the thing!
So close to perfection.
Sweet. Ah, and now, can I unlock some costumes?
Joshua first says, IDK, if that's what it will be, but I heard that there will be a lesbian pairing between Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy somewhere. I forget if it's the female villains movie or the upcoming Batwoman TV show. AJ Shim says, why though? Right. That's right. There's some vitriol on the internet about the casting of Batwoman, right?
God, I hated that.
Should we not go there?
Dude, it boils down to she's not queer enough, even though she is.
She's queer, but she's not queer enough.
Yeah, and that's kind of the dumbest part about it. Look,
leave it to SJWs to move the goalpost right when you win the race.
Dude, especially because, like, it's like, why? And I'm like, even Batwoman, why didn't you just do a Batman TV series?
I don't know. The only Batwoman thing I know is the Batman, the animated series Mystery of the Batwoman film. And that is it. That is all I know.
So this is what I wanted to do. Now we got a new costume. We're doing this.
We got the neon green spider.
I like this look a lot here. So we're going to keep this suit.
This is a suit that you bought at Spencer's.
Yeah. I'm Rave Spider-Man. Oh, God, yes. We're going to do that.
Rave Spider-Man.
Hold it. I know the next mission.
Yeah?
This is going to be perfect for it.
I just like to imagine that Aunt May is, like, all, like, up on all this stuff that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you kids these days.
You and your... It's going to be fun. We're going to a party!
Savannah Rhodes asks, how queer does a person need to be without complaining about being stereotyped?
In all seriousness, Batwoman's kind of an interesting character because she was made as...
Wait, they're dressed as Electro.
Yes. We're at a costume party.
Yes.
And that's why I'm like, oh my god, we're wearing this.
Wait, who's the B character?
Let's find out which one.
She was right there. There she is.
She's just a B character. And look, there's me. Hi, me.
But
I am stalking you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the problem with some people online these days is like they just they want to be upset, and if you like do something that will satiate them, then they'll just find something else to be upset about. So you know.
Well, like I said, I found the Batwoman shit.
I love this.
Everyone's in costume.
Yep.
I want to go to this party right now.
Yeah.
Let's see. AJ Shim says, comic question. What is your opinion on the Korean comic Chronicles of the Sword?
Chronicles of the Sword. I actually have not seen that yet. I was looking to look into that one at a later date.
It has swords in it, therefore it sounds cool to me.
But I only have so much time to read everything. Right now I'm actually going through a couple different things. I'm trying to go through Right now I'm trying to go through the... Sometimes I find like a creator I really like, and then I try to read everything they do. So there's this there's this mangaka who created. I don't have his name down yet, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But he did Lucifer and Biscuit Hammer, and that's really great shit. It's great manga, and I'm enjoying it. And I'm checking out his other stuff, which is Spirit Circle and Yoma Sengoku, I believe it's called. But yeah, no, he's great, and he did a show called Planet With recently that is also really good. So I'm reading through his stuff. Until then.
Wow.
Oh, look, it's Mysterio.
Excuse me, are you Dr. Delaney?
Spider-Man, my nemesis. You won't catch me this time.
Oh no, smoke. Whatever will I do?
I was defeated by a nerd with a smoke bomb. Some ultimate Spider-Man I am.
It's true.
Let's see.
Hey, what's wrong with
Johnny McJim blames social media for the rise of the angry social justice weirdos. AJ Shim says those whiners just want to complain because they have nothing else to do with their lives.
I don't know.
And Johnny McJim says they have no challenges or obstacles in their lives, so they invented some. You know, I actually think that is true.
Yeah.
I think that they kind of grew up in, you know, like we have our parents to thank for. Hey, it's the Vulture.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I think we kind of like grew up in fairly like comfortable places, thanks to the hard work of our parents, but we don't fully understand the hard work that they put into it, and so we don't end up putting that same hard work back in ourselves because we're trying to like find our own ways. And I think some people horribly misconstrue that into thinking that like they need to champion something, you know, that's like out there, and they end up doing, you know, what we're seeing, where they rather than they don't have a challenge in their own life, and so they complain about other people's challenges.
Now I'm out of
without actually like understanding it. Because when I actually like speak with the, you know, because like when you see like SJWs, like they get upset about like, oh, you misrepresented such and such group, but then when you actually talk to such and such group, like those people are like, no, we're cool with this.
Well, as much as like I love talking about SJWs and stuff,
That's
there's
true.
a rhino.
You're right, there is a rhino.
Let's focus on the rhino.
Man, look at those pectorals. Alright, AJ Sim says, comic question.
Alright, fair. Do the thing, do the thing, do the thing!
How did you get introduced to Spider-Man comics as a whole?
Okay. So, if I'm gonna be honest, Spider-Man comics were kind of a weird thing for me to get into, because I had to go through a couple different ways of doing it. For one thing, I was exposed to Spider-Man in the cartoons first. So, I grew up with The Amazing Friends, the 1980s Spider-Man show, and all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was exposed to that. I'm not that guy who's like, I was into all the comics beforehand.
I think for me, my like biggest Spider-Man moment was when I caught up on the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was very well done.
So let me explain how I got into the comics specifically.
Yeah.
So my uncle actually had these reprints of old Spider-Man Digest that collected the first stories of Spider-Man. So it contained Amazing Fantasy 15 and Spider-Man 1 through 13.
Do the thing.
Yeah, I did the thing.
Yeah.
So I was able to read the first 13 issues of Spider-Man.
Yanking someone by their face. is treated as a much less violent act than it actually is in this game.
Oh god, there's the sword guy too.
Sword guy. The animation.
Unfortunately, it's not Heat Guy J, the animation.
Wasn't that like on MTV at one point?
Yes, it was.
Because I remember flipping through channels and finding it there, and I'm like, oh man, what's this? This is so cool. MTV's got like edgy anime, but like Adult Swim was already a thing at that point, so I was like,
who cares?
Let's go watch Cowboy Bebop.
Nah, a couple of shows during that period tried to put on anime into their blocks. If anybody remembers the music station Fuse, they had anime blocks where you could see Tengo Tenge.
Oh man.
If you
I remember like briefly watching that, and you know, I'm not gonna talk about it right now, but the context of that was extra weird now that I think about that. Suspicious Pie says, my biggest Spider-Man moment was after the 4th of July watching an episode of a TV series. Oh yeah?
Fair enough. But no, but anyway, that's how I ended up getting Spider-Man. And at the time, Marvel put out what were called Essentials. Now, the Essential reprints were kind of cool. But they were kind of one of those things of, alright, here's why Essentials were good, but also really cheap. They were reprints of Spider-Man comics in black and white. So the idea was that you could read a bunch of the... But here's the thing. The Essentials contained like 20 issues of volume.
Oh, wow.
In black and white. So
yeah.
And they also cost $20. So they were very cheap.
That's $1 an issue.
Yeah.
That's a good value.
Yeah, and I still have a bunch. You can still find a bunch of them, but they don't hold up well over time, I found. I had to re-glue them when I was younger. That was fun.
Oh, man.
I learned bookbinding. It's a skill.
That is a skill.
Anyway, so the way I was able to...
we just webbed up some guys at this rave.
So, since Spider-Man was popular, he had like 5 volumes or 6 of them. So I was able to read like the first 200 issues of Spider-Man in black and white.
Look at it, you're perfect with the wall decorations. You're green.
I know, it works so well in this scene, doesn't it?
Are you faking me?
Yeah, this is pretty neat.
Yeah, it's a pretty good... I actually really like this sequence. It's kind of cool. But anyway,
I always love this kind of like punk stuff where you're like interacting with the underworld.
Who are you? You recently began working with someone in an Oscorp lab. How do you know that? We don't have much time, Isaac. Tell me his name.
Bobby.
I'm being overtaken by negativity.
I'm so sad! You will feel my pain.
It's like someone inverted my colors.
Show's over, Lee.
Oh man, I love the eyes on that costume. They're nice and big. I dig it.
He has to tag his own henchmen to make them more henchy.
Yeah. Ugh.
Ooh. Why did it take us this long to get to like the good parts?
Because I need to unlock special powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men.
Thank you.
This part sucks.
Do we have to do the thing?
No, we're not allowed to do the thing.
Did they just kill him?
Yeah.
Did he just kill himself?
Yeah.
You compelled him to with his negativity?
Yeah, he's that negative.
Oh, he's toxic.
He is Live Journal circa 2000.
Super toxic. All right. This is the part where the hot-blooded anime protagonist in me would come out, where I'm just like, "You murderers!" Defeat all of them in a furious rage for the injustices they have committed.
You now face the emissary of hell, Spider-Man!
The emissary from hell, Spider-Man.
The green emissary from hell.
He's the 6th Ranger. AJ Shim says, of course the villain is Japanese.
I
thought we established
He's
that
Chinese.
Mr. Lee was Chinese.
The enemy of all Asia.
Yeah. Okay.
To be fair, I have so many Asian friends who told me about that shit. Oh god, the costume looks
That's
really
a
good
pose,
here.
Yeah. No, the lighting on that is fantastic.
Yeah. I am the sexiest.
That is some artistry right there. Joshua first says, I'm more a manga guy because mangas have one story, whether they be 13 volumes or 85 and still going. But comics, new X-Men I started with, have filler and will change on a whim.
Okay.
And Josh also points out that Miss Negative is Chinese.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to talk about this, and I'm going to tell you this. Manga can be as infuriating comics, but in different ways.
Yeah,
and I'm
sure it can be.
And I'm going to be honest here.
Oh no, Nego Rhino.
You kind of.
Oh, he's a thick boy.
I'm going to say this.
Extra thick boy coming to fight.
In comics, the best way of handling it usually is actually you want to focus in specifically on creators and interesting runs. With Spider-Man, there are actually a lot of good writers you can go for good Spider-Man content. It's just that you don't just read comics in a bubble. But if you do find the good ones, there's a lot of good ones out there. If you want a good standalone Spider-Man tale, do Spider-Man Blue. That one's really good.
I think we should clarify that Mr. Negative was not created for this game.
He actually is a character in the comics.
Yeah, he is Chinese by descent in the comic books as well, right?
Yeah, he actually is.
So it's not like... Because AJ Shim said, no wonder he's evil, a Chinese character in a video game.
Oh god, we're horrible. Then again.
Man, what climate do we live in that we have to, like, tread this line?
I know. But anyway, you have to. So there's a couple. So let me.
I miss Super Mario Brothers.
If you want interesting comic book stories, and hell, there are comic book stories that have ended in the United States. I'll give you 3 right now that are part of the Marvel Universe and DC Universe. That you just have to focus on those titles and nothing else. Hitman from DC Comics, Starman from DC Comics. Let's see what else. Hell, the freaking Dark Phoenix saga can be actually reread as a singular story. And God Loves Man Kills is a really great graphic novel from that. Ultimate Spider-Man actually has a pretty solid ending at different points. The Ultimate Clone Saga is a really fun story. And there's a lot of good comics out there, in my opinion, that a lot of people don't try out. Marvels is really good. That's a singular graphic novel you can just read in one go. If you want other interesting comics, Astro City has been done by one creative team for 25 years. And is above 100 issues and is all good. Like, in all seriousness, there's so many good comics that, like, I hate when people generalize, like, oh, manga ends and that's why it's good. Because I'm like, well, there are comics that have ended.
Oh no, Dragon Ball has ended and restarted a number of times.
Like,
and it's all nonsense, but it's fun.
Dude,
same thing with Western comics.
Dude, at this point, Dragon Ball is a Western comic. And I won't have anyone tell me differently.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry if you think that...
It's martial arts superheroes who fight evil from space or something.
Look, at this point, Goku has taken everything from Superman anyway. I'm sorry.
I mean, I already had a strong association with Superman where you ever see that, like, it was a long time ago, they made a music video from Kryptonite with Dragon Ball Z.
Alright, we're gonna unlock this costume.
If I go crazy, will you still call me Superman?
This costume's overtly designed, but for some reason I love it.
If I'm alive and well, will you still be there holding my hand? I can't sing.
I understand, but until then, we're unlocking this costume.
Dude, it's like Mega Man Spider over there. What's that?
It's the Spider Armor Mark III suit.
I want it.
So, the super villains actually were... The Sinister Six teamed up, and were like, "We fucking hate you, Spider-Man." Spider-Man's like, "I had enough. I'm designing my ultimate armor, and I'm taking it on.
I'm
Fuck
designing
you
Mega
all."
Man armor for Spider-Man.
Yeah, I kind of love it. It's not that great a story, but I like this costume. Kind of. I don't know why. It's overtly designed, and there's parts I hate about it, but I'm like, oh, I kind of do. For some reason, it works for me. And I kind of like it.
He's got a nice, manly spider crotch.
So I'm going to unlock it because I'm awful like that. Now. Anyway.
Let's see. Suspicious Pie votes number 15.
Number 15.
Savannah Rhodes says, definitely looks like a ripoff of Iron Man.
You're not technically wrong, but it still looks cool. Here's the thing. There actually is a costume in the game designed by the guy who did the Iron Man armor for the first movie. So
okay, I love this.
It's great. We got the best.
He's like sitting there just talking to the dude on the subway.
Now we're gonna do the challenge.
You know, that's what I've been finding very endearing about Spider-Man as we've been going through this. That he is indeed the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, where he has those human moments where he's just like hanging out, and people are like, "Hey, what's up, Spider-Man?
What's up, Spider-Boy?"
Yeah, you know, because and I think that we've gone over a lot how Spider-Man is a very relatable character. And just like seeing him in those situations really works, because it's one of those things that a lot of other characters don't always find themselves in, and because of that, they're kind of less relatable. Although I'm sure by now they've done a lot of good like Superman comics where you see Clark Kent in his daily life.
In general, like that was what the '80s Superman was about, was making Clark Kent relatable. So in all seriousness, back in the '80s when they rebooted Superman for the first time, I know I said first time. Get over it. They decided to actually focus on making him be human, and the idea with him was that Clark Kent was the real dude and Superman was the fake.
You know, yeah, well, I think I mentioned this before, where there's the episode of Superman the Animated Series where he was doing some investigative journalism, and he kind of like mentions that to his parents when like the world thinks that Clark Kent is dead, and he's just like, "No, Ma, I can't do it. I'd go crazy if I had to be Superman all the time."
Let's see.
Yeah, he was like, you know, I'm just Clark Kent, a boy from Kansas.
All right. So
Superman just helps out from time to time.
I did it. Okay, so I can actually unlock this suit with just doing one more thing.
Okay, that's it.
So I'm gonna do this just because this suit is too cool and I want it for certain missions.
All right, we're on.
So we're gonna go to the map and we're gonna take on another base.
All right, Suspicious Pie asks, what superhero would you say is the least relatable?
Fuck.
Goku.
If I'm gonna focus on American superheroes just to keep this relatively simple, but
yeah.
If I'm gonna be honest, okay, so the least relatable, because believe it or not, okay, Tony Stark, I kind of relate to the addiction issues he has as a character.
Yeah, me too.
Those are actually pretty heavily, so.
I was going to say, like, I'm going to let you think about this while I talk about this, is that, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Who is the Spider-Man? He's right next to me. He's on his iPhone.
If I'm gonna be...
Well, yeah, like, Tony Stark is cool because I definitely know some intelligent people who kind of have their demons, I guess. And I think that no intelligent person is without their demons. Because that kind of comes part and parcel. You know, ignorance is bliss.
But now, I'm now... Okay, so if I had to think of who the most unrelatable hero in any way, shape, or form, I'm probably going to say, and this, some people might really hate this, Captain Marvel, the Carol Danvers version, might be the most unrelatable superhero.
Okay.
Why
do we say that?
Her memory.
She's getting a movie.
No, her memory loss as a character. One of the big problems is that they keep changing her character so often that I just can't relate to her. She sacrifices her memories and the people her memories cares about. That she just is completely unrelatable to me.
Now, why would you say they did that?
Mostly because writers found it easier to just mold new personalities onto her, so that way they don't have to keep anything consistent between themselves.
Ooh. So, I mean, I don't know the context for all of that, but it kind of, like, in my mind, speaks to the fact that, like, comic books go on for such a long time and go through so many different writers that it kind of makes it difficult to keep consistent.
It's fair.
And that's why I'm kind of, like, a proponent for...
Alright.
Characters should kind of, like, begin and end at a certain point.
Sometimes, but here's the truth of the matter on a lot of this level, and how comic books can stay along. You either want to be a really well-respected B-lister, or an A-lister with a lot of good stories. And believe me, there's actually a lot of those in comics. Daredevil is one of the most well-respected comic book characters of all time, who basically has almost no bad comics to his name.
Wow.
And
now, like, as far as Captain Marvel is concerned, I don't care for some of the marketing that they've put out so far for the movie that's coming up.
Well,
but at the same time, I really do want to see what they're doing with the character, because it's not a character I'm familiar with.
I hope that they make her better in the movie. I'm not saying... Keep in mind, I'm not saying she's bad because of the movie. I'm saying that I found...
No. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about lots of different comics that come out.
Yeah, and Miss Marvel, I felt they never did a good job, because here's the thing. I think there are better Marvel heroines than her, and here's a... I have a list here. Better Marvel heroines: She-Hulk, Spider-Girl, Rogue, Storm.
Speaking
most
of which,
of the women in X-Men.
AJ Shim asks, why was Spider-Woman Jessica Drew created?
Oh, to keep a copyright. You see...
Is that true?
Yes.
That is lame.
Dude. Literally...
But I believe you.
Literally, She-Hulk and Spider-Woman were created to keep a copyright, because... They were almost...
Sensational. She-Hulk.
You see, the Hulk had a TV show, and there was another cartoon that was making a Spider-Woman cartoon at the same time. And Marvel, there was a chance they wouldn't own any of those characters. So they had Stan Lee and a couple other writers come up with these ideas for characters to take on. And Spider-Woman... Oh god, Spider-Woman is such a failure of a character, it's kind of hilarious.
A failure of a character? Strong words, sir. Strong words.
There's been 4.
Oh. Okay.
If that doesn't say failure, I don't know what does.
Failure it is.
And I'll be honest, I like the character alright. She's kind of fun in a goofy way. And she has some good moments, but... For a long time, Marvel writers associated her with failure, and I can understand why.
Well, okay, you know, coming from, like, essentially an outside perspective who doesn't really know anything, I would just say that because she's called Spider-Woman kind of demeans her, because Spider-Man is a popular character, and he's awesome, and no one's going to debate that. And so, like, calling her Spider-Woman makes her nothing more than the distaff counterpart to Spider-Man.
Well, that's kind of...
And that's the problem, in my mind, is that you're not creating a new character, you're creating a distaff counterpart. Well, and so I really want to see, you know, if I want to see a character, I want to see new characters.
Dude, I understand that to an extent, but I will say this.
I mean, does she fit into the Spider-Man mythology? If that's a no, then yes, she's a failure.
Dude, I'll explain the issue with Jessica Drew, because let me tell you this. Alright guys, I'm gonna give you the lowdown on Spider-Woman. This is not gonna be pretty.
She does sexy poses that Spider-Man already did.
No, I'm not gonna talk about that controversy right now. That has nothing to do with it.
That's true.
I'm just gonna focus specifically on what they did of her origin. Okay, so let me explain why she kind of was created the way she was. Now, here's the thing. They tried to separate her from Spider-Man's mythos for one reason. That way she could be a separate character on her own. and not be tied down to Peter Parker stuff or be like his cousin. Because guess who was that? She-Hulk. But She-Hulk actually managed to get out of the shadow of Bruce Banner.
Oh.
Believe it or not, I actually like She-Hulk a lot and think she's a really cool character. If only for one reason. She has the opposite issue of the Hulk. She doesn't want to be herself. She likes being the Hulk.
Being She-Hulk?
Yeah. And makes her more interesting and more empowering. Compared to her cousin. And she's...
Bruce Banner, who does not want to be the Hulk. He fears the Hulk.
And that's kind of what makes her fun. I like her because of that. So, she's kind of cool. Spider-Girl, let me explain. Spider-Girl has a problem called, what I like to call for characters, retcon-itis. She's literally a character who, there's so much dumb shit, every writer tries to retcon something about her.
Retcon-itis. It's a terrible disease.
And
Metal Gear Solid came down with a terminal case of it several years ago.
And let me tell you what happened for her. You see, her initial origin was that she was created by Hydra, and that she was like a spider who hyper-evolved into a human or something.
What?
Yes. Yes, that was her initial origin.
I need to have a word with these people about their hyper-evolution.
Dude, that was going to be the origin of Wolverine at one point. They decided against it for obvious reasons.
He was a mean badger who hyper-evolved to an angry man.
Deputy Truth, I would actually kind of like that back now that I think about it. It's too hilarious. Anyway.
Let's go, bub.
Anyway, let me then tell you what... Then they realized that was dumb. And realized, oh my god, we should actually give her an origin that doesn't sound dumb. So they then revealed that she was like... Her father was like experimenting with weird spider blood. And she was like, oh god... I'm dying of cancer, Daddy. Help me, Daddy.
She had a bad case of monocancerous AIDS-itis.
Yes, of course, you know, that's what you do. You get cancer monos, AIDS-itis. And, you know, and you do what you can with it. And her case was pretty awful, if I'm being honest. Anyway, here's what happened in the story, essentially. Afterwards... She injected her with spider blood and was like, I'll put her in this cryogenic tube for a while and let her heal up. What could possibly go wrong?
Spider blood?
Yeah.
Radioactive spider blood?
Yes. And she gets superpowers that way. And we get this costume.
Armor Mark III.
And now, we are ready for justice!
Super fighting robot Spider-Man.
Okay, and then here's what else happened to Jessica Drew during this whole period. So, after that happened with her, she ended up waking up, but she was like a friggin' teenager. And then Hydra took her in and was like, hey, why don't we mess with her memories and make her think that she's like a spider thing? And Hydra's like, yeah, let's do it!
That sounds radical. Let's do it, man.
And S.H.I.E.L.D. found her and was like, yo, dude, you shouldn't do that. You should be a good guy. And she's like, yeah, I should be a good guy, but I have a lot of fucked up trust issues. Why? Oh, all men are really attracted to me, like super attracted to me, and women hate me automatically. So I have a lot of trust issues. And it's like, well, okay, that's a thing. Yeah. And I also want to be a detective. Okay, alright, let's do this. And here's the thing, Spider-Woman also has weird powers. She has like Electro Blast, she can fly, she can actually spin like electro webbing.
Why can she fly?
I question it too. It always bothered the fuck out of me why she could fly. And like, I don't know why she can fly.
Me neither. Suspicious Spy says, sounds dumb. I'm interested.
You know what? I would totally be down for a reading of Spider-Woman comics. And also, it gives me a chance to tell the cow who lied.
What?
There's a famous joke I have about Marvel, aka the cow who lied. You see, there's this cow in the Marvel Universe who's like a human cow, who lied to Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Jessica Drew about their origins. And she's used for so many retcons, I call her the lying cow.
Jesus.
Yeah, Marvel comics are weird, and sometimes they're dumb, but you have to understand, these are the bad examples. They should not be used for the whole medium.
Dave is full of examples.
I am, but I can also use a lot of examples of bad manga if I wanted to that have just as much trouble, if not more.
Oh, I know you could.
Like, let's be honest, guys. I want you all to be naming bad effed up manga.
I want to say the thing about manga is that it dies off a little faster than bad Western comics.
Well,
because bad Western comics are often tied to a major franchise, and so they kind of linger longer.
To be fair,
am I correct in saying that?
You're not wrong. But the thing about it is that a lot of comics do tend to redeem themselves with later writers and artists. Spider-Woman is one of those unfortunate cases where she never got her Frank Miller or Gary Conway or Walt Simonson, a creator who could really define her and everybody can just go back to. Like Frank Miller Daredevil, this costume just looks cool like this.
It does.
I am Spider-Man.
If I were drawing a Spider-Man, that's probably the costume I would have designed.
Yeah, it's fair. I like this suit a lot. Anyway, the whole thing with Jessica Drew is that she just is an unfortunate character who never had her great writer show up. Who has potential to be good. Like I said, there's not necessarily anything wrong with a lot of this stuff. It's just that she's never been in a really good story. Hell, it doesn't help that some of her villains really suck, including what... She might just have what many people consider the worst supervillain in Marvel. Which was, I believe, Turner D. Century, whose gimmick was that he liked retro things a lot and committed crime. Like he drove,
retro crime.
Like those like weird bicycles, velocipedes or something. I think they're called, with like the big wheel in front. You know those things. Like he was like a 1920s like one of those dudes. What? Have you ever seen The Sting? Okay, never mind. His whole gimmick was that he was like really retro. He was a hipster, like really awful hipster.
Villains.
That was his whole thing. So he is often considered like the worst Marvel villain, at least by most people who've heard of him. And to tell you the truth, they killed off a bunch of B-list supervillains in one event at one point, and they were like, we regretted every villain we killed, except for Turner D. Century. He was really shit. Like when the writers confirmed the villain is so shit that they were like, yeah, we have no regrets about this one. We fucked up, man. Doesn't it help she also had like a villain like Daddy Longlegs too? Get it? Spider?
Daddy Longlegs.
Like, there's...
Alright, so what's our next objective, by the way?
I'm just gonna go to our next objective at this point. Let's go for justice in this costume. Because right now, we are high-powered at this point.
I thought you were going to stop it at we are high. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Let's see. Buck Baladanka says, so when you say fly, did she sprout wings or just fly like Superman?
She fly... Okay, you know those like little web pits Spider-Man has? It's kind of more like that. Where she had like these little wings attached to her costume that she like used to fly. It was like an electromagnetic harness thing. So now we're just going to go into Oscorp.
The security network modules from the outside.
You know, as you do.
They're the network cables. Just need to follow them to the security module.
Blah, blah, blah. I am Spider-Man. I do this for justice.
Looks like there's 4 of these around the
and I have
Spider-Man does whatever justice can.
This is not too hard in my opinion. So the idea is that we're crabbing up the building and we don't want to get shot or spotted.
Looks like an electrical problem. Copy that.
Laser snipers.
Yeah, our favorite boys.
Do you have to follow the gold line?
Yes.
Without touching the blue lines.
Yeah.
My spider sense is tingling.
My spider sense is telling me, oh god, why are there so many blue lines? Aunt May, why do you make blue lines? I hate blue lines. They're sticky and get everywhere.
Well, you see, it's a natural part of growing up as a Spider-Man.
There's the second module.
And then I gotta get on here. Hacking, hacking,
Super
hacking.
strength to punch into the hole in the wall.
Yeah, nah, Spider-Man just has to sneak through and be like, now I gotta dodge these helicopters.
Cable teams, I need a status report. Exterior sweep negative. We're all clear. Still look like a soft.
We don't think there's a weird armored spider dude here.
There's no Spider-Man stuck to the outside of the building.
Ah, Spider-Man, the Canadian cousin to Spider-Man, who's not Weapon 13.
What was that Batman Spider-Man series that was on YouTube?
It was a weird, like, parody series.
That
Very
sounds dumb.
I call it very early internet type thing. You know, it's just one of those things. People enjoyed it, I guess. I was just like, okay, this was a thing. Alright, I guess gotta do this one more time.
Hacking, hacking.
Hacking, hacking,
Oscorp.
I'm climbing up Oscorp ladder.
X-Men, X-Men.
Lift the day, X-Men, X-Men, coming your way. Magneto's hordes are on the way to pillage, burn, and plunder. But I can't.
I started the thing.
You started this, I blame you. But I like that song.
This is reasonable. Wasn't that like they had a pilot episode in the 80s and that's what that was?
Yes.
Yeah, before that.
There's the last one.
Oh god.
You were spotted because all the blue lasers converged.
Ah, fucking A. I thought I did better than that. I actually didn't fail this mission the first time when I played it, so I'm just kind of shocked.
AJ Shim asks, Dave, what is your opinion on Ultimate Spider-Woman? Personally, I love her.
If I'm being honest, a better take on trying to make Spider-Woman, because I'll tell you this, making her just a clone of Peter Parker actually simplifies her a lot.
Speaking of crazy, gotta find that last module.
So, she's not too bad, actually. It's just that, you know... Alright, I'm just gonna stick to the dark place.
No, Spider-Man, turn off the dark.
Oh, dang it. Got it.
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man turns off the dark.
Nice. Now I can get into Norman's office and hopefully find out more about Morgan Michaels and Devil's Breath.
Alrighty.
Exterior sweep negative. Should we go on lockdown?
There's no weird armored spider dude. I told you he was a myth.
There must be someone out there.
You think the Spider-Man's hard to believe, but an armored spider? No way.
That's impossible. In all seriousness, in all seriousness, okay, so let me tell you about Spider-Girl and why she was named Spider-Girl and not Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman was such a failure to Marvel creators that they were like, we don't want to give her this name.
What are you talking about?
The Neo statue from the auction house. They must be talking about that file MJ found.
Who has the file?
We do, Norman. But it doesn't tell us enough. Which is why I'm doing some slightly illegal but morally acceptable B&E right now.
Alrighty. Time to do some hacking of Norman Osborn.
GR27.
GR27. It's like it spells out green or something. Nah.
The password is password.
Dr. Morgan Michaels is the chief scientist, but the location of the lab is redacted. AI-controlled CRISPR. If that actually works, it could cure any genetic disease. Cystic fibrosis, Huntington's. This is crazy.
Man. The good. The bad. There's a lot of bad.
100% of rodents say nay.
Creepy. Whoa. GR27 is Devil's Breath. It's designed to cure diseases, but in its current form, it's like a bioweapon. Dr. Michaels keeps the
Cures the disease known as humanity.
I like how Norman has this, like, Mr. Osborn believes it.
The reward is worth the risk.
You know,
100% of test subjects have died.
I seriously wish somebody went over this and would just put it as like, I believe it's worth the risk because this is Norman's personal files. At the least, you know? But we did it, so yay!
Ooh, good pose.
It is a good pose, and it's in our armor form.
He's very flexible. I wish I was as flexible as Spider-Man.
Don't we all?
Ladies love it.
I am now level 26. 7, maybe.
MJ, get this. Devil's Breath wasn't designed to be a weapon. It's a treatment for genetic disorders. But its current form is wildly imperfect. In trying to fix the body, it rips it apart. We need to locate Dr. Michaels. I don't trust Sable to contain something this deadly.
I may have a lead on that. Charles Standish is being held at Sable's Central Park compound. If anyone knows Michael's location, it'll be Oscorp's CFO.
I'm gonna probably wrap it up in this.
Reach him? That place is crawling with
So-
guards.
So Silver Sable's group has come into town.
Yep. And now she's running hog wild on it. But first, we're gonna do some little like let's see. I'm gonna now just take care of some like what I like to call.
AJ Simpson says, man thing saves the day. Man thing.
You mean
coming your way.
You mean Man Thing?
The evil corp is on the way to pillage, burn, and plunder. But there's one thing that will not yield. The thing that strikes like thunder.
Oh,
man thing.
Oh god. Okay, if you're gonna do that, you need to mention the fact that he has a touch that burns anyone who feels fear. AKA Man Thing.
You got the touch.
You got the power. Those who know fear burn at the touch of Man Thing. Really?
Oh my god.
I love Man Thing. Ironic. No! I love Man Thing unironically! I love the man!
I just, wow.
Don't you love giant size Man Thing unironically?
That's like something like I want to give to like a nerd girlfriend or something. Just like it's like I got you giant sized man thing.
Don't worry, I understand. We got you. We all love the giant sized man thing. But anyway, if we're gonna finish off, I think I'm gonna do this the only
What
way.
a way to finish off.
Well, we're gonna get under a green light and pose.
Good contrast. We are now Christmas Spider-Man.
Never heard Doc this.
Because we got this.
Man thing.
Man
Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Ooh. Man, you know, that mask keeps reminding me of, like, Deathstroke for some reason.
He kind of does.
I don't know why.
I think we'll end on this image.
Spider-Man.
Issue.
Spider-Man.
We are ending issue 3 of our Spider-Man the Comic live stream.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We had a fabulous time, and we hope you did as well.
Have a good one, guys.
See you next time on Hal and Dave's Trip to Jupiter.